Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 41 of the Sea of Souls live stream Dungeons & Dragons campaign brought to you by we, who are the Elder Brain. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it so much. We have a lot of fun.
If you're watching us right now,
live.
If you're watching us right now, it means that you made the decision to watch us instead of Morbius, and you made the right choice.
You made the right call. It's true. It's D&D time, not Morbid time. But yes, welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you're live with us, that's the best way to enjoy our content as we get to chat and hang out. And we love our chat. We love our little but hopefully growing and budding community. So thanks for being a part of that. As always, make sure you check out our link tree. Link up there. You can find links to all of our socials and our audio. Our podcasts are now going to be available in other places. Mike,
yes,
would you like to tell our viewers where they can hear us?
Well, I have done all the work, and I should have left it up for myself so that I could reference it, but I've done all this work to make sure that our podcast is reachable in other places. So everything is uploaded to Podbean. You can find it there on that app, or you can also look for us over on Spotify, on iHeartRadio app, on Player FM, on the Samsung podcast app, because apparently Samsung has their own for reasons.
Of course they do.
There
And
you
then
go.
another place called Podchaser. I am working on getting us on Google Podcasts, but they want me to jump through a hoop that doesn't make any sense. So
Usually,
we'll get there
yeah.
eventually. But
Usually,
But nevertheless, we're in the big leagues now.
yes, we're in the big world ether of podcasts. So you can find
now I know
us
Spotify is a pretty niche program. I know not a lot of people heard of it, but it's growing. It's got some potential, I think.
Just like us, right?
just like
So
us.
just
that's
like
right.
us, yeah. It's so it'll be good for us to be part of that. We'll put some faith in it, and yeah.
If you want to support us, go to Spotify, and if you want to support your favorite artists and musicians, go to Bandcamp.
Oh yeah, yes, and MySpace.
Yes.
All right, now that we're showing our age a little bit there. Anyways, we're excited to make our content more available in more places for your listening pleasure. So please do check that out. Again, Linktree, you can find our socials there, and those other extra links will be up there as well. But just search the Elder Brain on Spotify, Elder Brain Cast, etc., and you'll find us. We're the one with the D20 with the tentacles.
And the brain.
The tentacles and the brain, then it's not us.
Oh my god, I just realized we should have made our logo a D10, because then we could have called it the D-Tentacle.
No.
I'll start working on it.
I was gonna say, Mike. I think that needs to happen now.
No, it's the ship has sailed, the ink is dried.
That's the B side. That's like gonna be the B side.
It's what could have been.
You flip it, yeah. It's like when the upside down, you flip it. It's like a different alternate universe. It's the
Okay,
multiverse.
Let's keep going.
It's a multiverse version of it. Don't forget to check out our Patreon as well. We have our first issue of Brainstorm D&D content magazine up that is free. It's free for anybody to go out there and grab it. And if you like what you see there, then join our Patreon and you will get access to more content to come, including some exclusive content. So we had a lot of fun making it. You can find the Octobrain in there, which is a monster we did from our Monster March stream, where we created this crazy thing. There's some really fun tavern encounter tables made by Jack. I love the entries in there. It's hilarious. Goblin Adventure, Gun Dead. It's exactly what it sounds like.
I thought I took a little more poetic license with the concept.
True. But if you want to throw a Gun Dead into your D&D game, then we have one. So check it out. Well, I've talked a lot, and now it's time for playing some D&D, because that's what we're here to do. So I think that's all our announcements out of the way for now. And without further ado, let's weigh anchor.
Whispers in the window are angry waves. Way over the sea of souls. Down to the mists as the ocean slaves. Way over the sea of souls. Way over the sea of souls. Way over the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey, ho, it's the sea of souls. Oh, Way, oh, the sea of souls. Way, oh, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey, oh, it's the sea of souls. Hey, oh, it's the sea of souls. Sea of souls.
Okay. Yeah, you should have. It's that kind of night.
We'll continue that story. I'll continue that story at break.
We're having fun.
If I remember.
We're having fun. But hey, we like to keep it loose here and have fun anyways. So we definitely do not take ourselves too seriously. So please don't take ourselves too seriously either. That makes sense. We're gonna do something a little bit different with our recap. Normally I blab on for a couple of minutes about here's the things, blah, blah, blah. But I'll kind of fill in the points that get missed. But we'll do a what our players think was important from last session. Not that anything happened last session of interest, but so what do you guys remember? What are sort of the big moments? And I'll fill in as needed to get us launched for today. So.
Well, spoiler warning, but Torque may or may not be a god now. So that's
demigod.
No, he is the receptacle. He ate a god. That's what I.
He's an avatar. That's right. Yes.
The power was willingly bestowed on him, and
that happened in the middle. That's
a crazy part.
We'll build up to that.
Yeah. Like, not to bury the lead or anything, but
we found out Serena is not an elf. It was the most shocking revelation we'd experienced the entire session.
The most shocking,
this is true.
I forgot about that. Surely I have a note
somewhere. I will never forget, because I was more shocked to learn that than that a freaking god was living in the well and went into Torque.
I was just like, I mean, that's coming. I was like,
listen, that was just par for the course for Torque at this point. But Serena not actually being an elf is like, man.
Oh, yeah.
The twist was coming. I was looking up spells and I was like, guys, do you think that Serena is like a human that got reincarnated as an elf?
Yeah, I when you posted that, and I was like, that was a good guess.
So
Serena is Valencia Vale.
Right.
Eddard Vale's brother or sister, sorry. And she had gone into disguise as an elf. And so Tanshu, her aunt, was quite surprised to see that her niece was alive and well.
So yes, we've rescued Tanshu, and we found a magic well that people were trying to get to. I think because it's got some magic powers. We didn't really know at the time. It seemed quite magical. It was very old, older than everything. Older than Torque's shell, which is pretty freaking old. And
it's true.
That's ancient, yeah.
And an 8-page. I tried scouting the well and
older than Flick's entire family tree, which let me tell you.
Yeah, that's a big tree.
Well, I guess that's true.
We learned. Well, there was a scroll that was on top of the well as well.
A scroll that talks.
That talked to us.
Yeah.
But
it's like something out of Pee Wee Herman's Funhouse.
Dinar's identification came in handy and realized
not the cultural touchstone I'd use for that, actually.
Well, we learned that the scroll was actually a scroll of gate, which is a multi-planar portal spell of sorts.
It opens.
Yeah.
9th level.
Low level spell.
Or calls forth something.
And it was key to a specific location, right?
We're missing.
If I recall, we're missing the location.
Yeah.
This one does seem to be keyed to somewhere specific, correct?
And we need to know where in order to use it.
Correct.
You know, I'm sure we'll figure it out. I mean, it's a small world, small universe, small multiverse.
We've got contacts now. We can
small infinite multiverse.
So during the night, during everyone's watches, Flick was talked to by Desfuna. There's magic voices coming out of the well. offering all sorts of wild and wacky things. He said no thanks.
Water tar in a body of water.
And why did he say no thanks?
Because he's had enough of spooky voices in his head, and he's happy enough with what he's got.
Voices from
Take
a
the good
well
with
is
the bad. That was the quote.
no manner of government, right?
Yeah, that too.
Way to overthrow government.
Just couldn't let the low hanging fruit slip by you, huh?
That's right.
Ian would never ever let that happen.
Oh, no.
It's true.
We also learned through those conversations that apparently Triskades has been invading Desfuna's territory, and thus, in a way, Desfuna's like dying.
Yeah, I'm very curious about how the metaphysics of that work. Something we're gonna have to look into.
I imagine that in time we're probably going to be learning a lot more.
Oh, I imagine so.
Possibly.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how her ceding all that territory now, right? She basically has pulled up stakes and has moved out, so now he can take over everything. So I guess that's good.
And her
She's
mom
not
isn't
dead.
involved in any way. Well, no, she lives inside Torque.
Well, yes, that's the only.
I mean, we don't actually know.
Supposedly.
Theoretically, she could be
In
dead,
your
and her
When
essence could be in Torque.
when her essence was passed on, Torque did stop hearing Desfuna's voice, as did Tonshu, and presumably
Correct.
the other followers of Desfuna. So while Desfuna is no longer existing, her power persists with Torque as sort of the vessel holding it,
Yeah, I mean,
is my understanding.
if you were to liken it to like one of the gods of Faerun, it's like they die and then their portfolios get moved to someone else.
Oh boy, does
Just
that mean
shuffle
that
around.
the followers of Desfuna are going to start following or getting power from Triskades?
Well, I guess we will see what happens.
Mhm.
Sorry, Craig, I'm cutting your grass, I guess.
I will move. You can come cut my grass anytime you want. We will move things forward. Recapping that you all made your way back to the ship.
Yes.
With Tonshu in tow, with all these revelations, and there you found
We have our grung friend too.
he went home.
Yes,
He left.
but-
He escaped. But
but we-
you did make friends with Grung. Yes.
He does just live on the island.
He lives
so
like
it's,
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not like Kissick, where he's just like, "I'm done with you now." He's like, "I'm going home."
Yeah, he's like, I have a life. He has a wife and children.
That's right. But as you made your way back to the ship, you found more people than you were expecting waiting for you, actually. Whereas Kamari was there, as she had mentioned, she had teleported herself to your ship after discerning its location. If you recall, she had given you a message previously that she had hidden the ship as best as she could, that there were some ships kind of outside of the shallows that were, she wasn't sure if they were, anchored or if they were patrolling, whatever, but she, talking to Kadana and the crew, realized that you guys kind of want to stay hidden a bit. And as you returned to the ship, she informed you that there were 6 more or less refugees from the Spire, including herself. And that is where we left off. So as you board the ship, and Kamari is there, the crew is kind of about, the rest of her contingent emerge from the galley. And I'm going to move us onto the deck of the updated Radiant Dawn.
Ooh.
Would you look at that?
Oh, can I fit all this on screen? I can.
I assume all our regular crew are below deck currently.
Yeah, they are. I can see them.
They are, yep. So they are down in the hold. So they've got their own little galley that they're kind of hanging out. And
I didn't even see. Oh, wow. This is a much larger map than I thought.
it is indeed. So two of the individuals that came along, they kind of stand in the doorway. So you can see them, that the galley door is kind of open, and they're kind of standing in there, not wanting to crowd things too much, and they kind of stay in the background. One you recognize as Carvis, who is the barkeep from the berth, who seems to be alive and well.
Hey.
Whose fate you were not sure of, as the port had been swarmed by undead rats and other things, forcing you to leave. And one of the questions you had was the fate of the berth and Carvis. And he is alive and well, seems to be.
Hooray.
The other individual is none other than Gary.
Hey,
Gary.
You son of a bitch.
Gary Guard the Guard, whose last name is now canonically Guard. So he is Gary Guard.
Maybe that's why he became a guard.
It is definitely why he became a guard.
Well, it's like, if John Baker becomes a baker.
Mhm.
Yeah, anything else?
Why is your dentist
Uncivilized.
named Crentis?
He kind of gives a wave at Carvis as well. Kamari, you recognize the other three individuals. You do not recognize. You have not seen them before. One is a much older orc, much more gnarled than Carvis, and you can see her. She's got kind of her lips are like puckered, and when she kind of moves her tongue around, you can see that she's missing her teeth. Her hair is kind of black and matted in spots, and she's kind of like hunched over, and she kind of moves out and just kind of doesn't really say much and just takes a seat on one of the crates there and just seems to kind of be waiting and not really paying much attention. She doesn't like introduce herself or anything. She kind of sits down. Kamari kind of looks at her and is almost like waiting for an introduction and then doesn't. And so Kamari says, "Yes, okay. This is Tucson. And Tucson, she's a cleric. She was part of the well, we don't like to refer to it as necromancy, but the good kind, of healing and that sort of thing, and teaching people how to fend off against the dead and the undead and that sort in the tower."
So this is relevant, but she's not a cleric of Desfuna, right?
No.
Okay, good. Carry on.
No, I don't think we had any clergy of Desfuna in the tower.
That's good. That's good.
Tucson is a cleric of Naya, the goddess of death. She's a grave cleric.
She's a nice lady.
Well,
She still doesn't say anything. She just kind of looks around. She's like chewing on her lip, like gumming at her lips. In stark contrast, standing next to her is a very tall and rather frail-looking elven woman. She's got long silvery hair, and she's resting on a cane. And you can see that her left foot kind of turns in a little bit. And she doesn't really put much weight on that, but she kind of holds this cane instead. And she gives a little bit of a bow with one hand, and she says, "My name is Shalia Ravensong. I was the master of abjuration at the Ivory Spire. I, along with Kamari and the Seal, were of like mind and resisted. I'll let Kamari tell the details, but pleasure to make your acquaintance."
Welcome aboard, Shalia.
She kind of gives a nudge to the gentleman that's sitting beside her. Very old looking man. He's got his white hair is long, or sorry, silver hair is long, almost as long as Shalia's, but not as like well kept, right? His more kind of like frazzled and you can see like just like even now there's like bits of things kind of like hanging in it. And he's got spectacles kind of on the end of his nose. And he's actually got a book in his hands right now. He's looking down and he's just like, and as he gets nudged, she goes, What? Oh, Edwin Thargot, master scholar of the Spire. I research things and know things. Historian.
I got lots of
Hello.
questions for you.
Sure. In a minute, please. This is very interesting. I need to finish this sentence.
Well, first of all, I'd like to know why the sky is blue.
Oh, well, that's
Helen, I think that in light of everything, this could wait until another time.
Yeah, we
Well,
have
it's
more
actually-
pressing matters.
Yeah,
It's a really simple explanation, actually, but it has to do with light and atmosphere. The way the light refracts from the sun and passes through the atmosphere. Blue is the shift. It's blue shift, because that's the light that we see coming through.
All this is very fascinating. However, I'm afraid that time is of the essence here.
Yes. Time is time real? That's another question. Or is it a matter of perception? Some would argue.
Time, my good scholar, is nothing. Timing is everything.
Torque is going to kind of just look over at Kamari and just be like, we should probably interrupt them before they get stuck in a loop.
Yes, we should. Sorry, we're all a little bit frazzled as well. You might imagine from what has taken place in the Spire, and my friends here haven't got out much until recently, so...
Well, we haven't been in the Spire, so why don't you fill us in a little bit on what exactly is happening there?
To put it simply, the Spire has fallen into the hands of those who have allied themselves with Truscades.
Okay.
It would appear that his taint goes deep. There was a source, a strange curiosity at the very base of the Spire. It is actually why the Spire was built where it was. To something that we called the Everwell. An unknowably ancient font of magic energy. Origins unknown. And the Spire was built there in part to harness the impressive arcane power that came out of it. There were many in the Spire who wanted to use it for other reasons, who wanted to tap into it in dangerous ways. Those of us standing here, we opposed it. We did not think that it was a good idea, and I think we were right. Truscades seemed to use their greed, their thirst for more power to his advantage, to turn them, to promise them. I don't quite know. Before we knew it, the Spire was at war with itself, with those following. Many people who were friends, colleagues fighting against one another. I'm afraid the Spire cannot be counted on for assistance or help.
Well,
that's good because we weren't.
That is unfortunately what seems to be going on here at Valtier. I suppose I am happy to report, though, that they do not have access to their Everwell, as you've called it.
There's more.
Yeah, well, assuming what you've described is also what we've found here.
Oh.
Then I realizes in that instant that maybe he doesn't know if he can trust Kamari.
Yeah, Tayland is currently staring you with dagger eyes.
Edwin at that mention.
Because once again,
sure, go ahead.
You have done this.
Tor can roll insight. Go ahead. At the mention of more, Edwin,
our fearless leader.
Edwin looks up from his book and goes, "Oh, sorry. Did you say there's another one? That actually explains a lot."
Well, there was another one.
There's a well.
Oh.
There's wells everywhere, though.
Well, that's a 15 on insight. I don't know.
And it was very deep. Kind of looked like it went on forever. So it was kind of like an Everwell.
So Torque, what exactly are you trying to ascertain, if I can ask that?
Just looking at Kamari specifically, just trying to kind of gauge her reaction.
If I recall, we tried to do that earlier, and it was very hard to read her owl voice.
Which is why I don't know if a 15 is going to cut the mustard on that. But
she does seem genuinely surprised, as you mentioned, another one. And I would say, given your interactions with her thus far, she's a pretty straightforward individual from what you've seen. She doesn't really seem the deceptive type. She just kind of, there's almost like a naivete to her, like there's that innocence where she's very wise, but when it comes to social interaction stuff, she just kind of, the whole intrigue part doesn't really seem to be part of her makeup. And so there's this sort of a general surprise. To picture like owl eyebrows going up, right? when you say that, and there's a genuine surprise of that. And the rest of them kind of seem surprised by that as well. And Edwin, though he kind of takes note of that, and he's like, that makes a lot of sense, actually, now that I think about it. More than one. I wonder how many.
That we certainly don't know. What exactly were you doing with yours?
Well, some of us were researching it, trying to figure out what it was, who built it, where it came from, where it led to, the certain properties of it. Others were bent on, as Kamari mentioned, using it for more nefarious purposes. I'm afraid that none of them were truly evil, you would say, but there are those who when they don't keep themselves in check, get consumed by the greed for power and the taste of it, the thirst of it. They just need more. And when an opportunity presents itself in such a thing, a literal font of magic, the temptation is strong to just drink from it, metaphorically speaking, as much as you possibly can. But we swore that it was too dangerous since we did not know where it led to, what was on the other side of it. There's too many unknowns, too many questions to just start to go, taking everything out of it. Who knows what we'd be letting into ourselves or into this world, tapping into. There's so many questions. You need to research properly before you make such hasty decisions.
And during the research you mentioned, how much of this research yielded actual usable information?
That's a good question.
Very little, I'm afraid. You see, it wasn't until a few months ago that the well sort of started, I suppose pulsing is the best word for it, emanating, radiating arcane energy. We could all feel it. It became this, it was always there, but it was almost in a sort of a dormant state. We had to tap into it, it took a lot to try to draw out of it. And then a few months ago, all of a sudden it was kind of like, boom, like a beacon was lit, and the magic was just pouring out of it, like a fountain, so to speak, metaphorically, again, not actual, magic pouring out. But anyway, I get caught up in my allegory sometimes. I apologize. That, of course, drew our attention, and we thought, well, we must figure out exactly what this is, because what if it blows up in our faces, and what if it consumes us? So Shalia here, who was master of abjuration, she put some warding spells around it. Very impressive, might I add. And Shalia just kind of gives a little bit of a humble nod. And again, there was many of us who were trying to figure out exactly what it was and where it went to. But as soon as it started pulsing, those who had already got it in their heads that this was a thing to be used, they said, now is the time. We must tap into it, make ourselves strong. And, well, that was the beginning of the end of the Spire, I believe.
Now,
it makes sense now that Triskades was responsible for this. Somehow him coming here, and perhaps it was him searching it out, or whatever link he has to it, sort of turned them on, so to speak, or activated them. We're still not really sure. We didn't get research got interrupted by the dying and the fighting and the magic chaos everywhere, and we had to flee. So only brought as many books as I could. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of my research with me. Sorry, what was the question?
Honestly, at this point, I don't even remember.
Right. Yeah. Me neither.
I'm just trying to connect how the 2 tons of iron and the dragon scales factor into this.
Tor's gonna look over.
Iron, the scale. Shalia says, I believe I can answer that question for you. I was constructing a shield of sorts, if you would, around the well. I used the iron to, myself and a colleague, Master of Transmutation, we were trying to form something similar to a lead barrier, but a little bit more powerful, an enchanted metal shield, if you will, a dome that would surround the well, and so that we could perhaps keep it contained while we studied it. The dragon scales were used as part of the enchantment. They are some of the most powerful regents of magical regions ever known, and refined into pure residuum. Incredibly potent. For something of this magnitude, we needed the best. Again, sadly, we did not manage to get the shield completed before we were betrayed.
Had you not been interrupted, do you think the shield would have been effective?
I'd like to say yes. This is, of course, based on our understanding of the usual types of magic. Now, Kamari here, her specialty is with chaos magic and research. There seems to be a bit of that connected to these wells. You see, there's another one. So with that in the picture, unfortunately, that creates an unknown. We don't know how magic from the other weave reacts to the usual sorts of enchantments and wards and the like.
Chaotically, one
know.
would imagine.
Yes, indeed. Well.
So the spire's been overtaken.
Yes, that's I believe that's been established in our.
We've known this for some time.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
but
I mean, we kind of we've been operating under that assumption for the last couple days at the very least. I mean, it kind of really does seem like a pointless thing to bring up.
I think what the captain meant is that now we have definitive understanding of what is happening in there.
Kamara speaks and says, "Yes, it would be good not to go back there. We managed to cause some damage, as it were, to those who are now under Truscadi's sway there, so they won't exactly pose an immediate threat to us for the time being, but it's only a matter of time." You could say that we destroyed the ritual rooms. Because we did. And you see there's like a grin, actually, like this owl's grin where she just kind of like a little bit of a...
Quite resourceful thinking, I must say.
Well, what do we do now?
Well, that was going to be my question for you.
Drink and be merry.
I don't think that's going to help solve the problem.
No, I didn't say it would solve the problem. She asked what we were going to do next.
That's what you're going to do next.
That's what we should all do next.
I'll drink to that.
Hey, see, there we go. We're already we're already two. We already got two going.
Edwin senses the pause and he kind of steps a little bit. Well, clearly we need more information, so I'm not sure where we're going to find it, but I mean, if there's at least two of these wells, like you said, we need to find out if there are more. How?
Before we do that, our business on Tyr remains unfinished.
Oh yeah, Your Highness, and Flick bows before what's her name now? Valencia. Please guide us with your royal wisdom.
She kind of, you can see her face. She like gives this like massive eye roll of like.
Yes, oh gracious noblewoman, allow us poor peasants to assist you in your endeavor.
I really
Talon,
make silence.
Talon, make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Can do. 18.
18, okay. She whips a dagger at you, handle first, though. She throws it in such a way that it's the handle. And you manage to just kind of move out of the way as it goes flying by you. And you don't realize until as it goes by that it was the handle because, you know, she's flicking a dagger at you. And you're like, no. And she just kind of like, she's stares daggers at you, figuratively as well, and just like,
How you doing?
not amused.
But yes, any information on an advisable next move would be quite useful.
And I'm just gonna hold you up right there because let me lay this out real straight. She's become what we call in literary circles an unreliable narrator. I'm not going to believe.
I'm not familiar with the term.
You're the one that just asked her to speak.
No, I want to. She seems to be calling the shots here. I want to see what she's got to say, but I'm not going to put too much weight to it. That's all.
Not sure exactly when you decided that I was calling a shot. I certainly did not agree to that.
Hey, man, we were going to go kick his butt, and you told us we needed to come back here. So we came back here. You said you wanted to be there when we were kicking his butt, so we were going to bring you with us. But now you don't want to go anymore. So now I'm waiting for you to say what we need to do.
I think what Flick
Excuse
is
me,
trying.
please.
Yes,
And
I think
she just like turns and walks and like heads into the ship, and you can see there's where she normally carried herself with that kind of, again, that self-assuredness. Like her shoulders have sunk a little bit, and as she walks away, that bravado, that cockiness is gone.
I believe the conclusion that we were trying to reach is that we cannot leave the people of Tyr at this time, as they are currently still in the thrall of some agent of Triskades that has taken the guise of their ruler, Eddard Vale.
Hey, Flick, has becoming a demigod improved his vocabulary?
A little bit.
The other thing that's important to note here is that if they've already got their hands on one Everwell, it would probably be wise of us to prevent them from getting their hands on a second.
Oh,
yes, I do concur with that. That would...
Is there like several of these wells that control different aspects of reality, like a well of power, a well of
As Edwin says,
time.
we don't know.
There are 6 precise now.
One is yellow, one is purple.
Let me scratch out those notes. Crap. Used Infinity Well. No, yeah.
Hey, if Dungeon Magazine is able to use it, so can we.
Yeah. Tanshu, who has been silent this entire time, she speaks up. There will be allies in Tyr to help. There's a bit of I wouldn't call it a resistance, that's too strong a word. Not exactly organized, but those who...
A rebellion.
Sure, those who refused to bow to what Eddard had become, and if we seek them out, I think we can... They would help hide us, they would help gather some information. I think Valencia is right when it comes to not rushing head first into fighting Eddard. I still hate calling him that. We need to know what we're up against. You need to know what you're up against. Some of the answers might be in the crypt. There's a reason why he was hell's-bent on getting in there. I don't think that the entity that took possession of him quite understood what it was that he would find in there. I'm not entirely sure of the history. There's a lot of history of it. Perhaps if we made it to the temple, we could find some... The Vale crypt is in there. The crypts of many of the nobles are in there. A lot of the history of our people, of who we are, is in there. Or was.
If this seems like the best source of information to plan our next move, then I'm all for it. Captain?
Yeah. We need to get into that temple.
Which temple? The Temple of Disfuna or something that's in the underground?
No, yes. The temple of former temple,
Sorry,
I suppose.
the formerly Temple of Disfuna. Okay, so basically we've got a two-prong thing going on here. 3 prongs. One, we got to get back into the underground. 2, we want to evacuate the town, and 3, we need to get into the temple. Is that our to-do list?
Certain priestess in there I'd very much like to smack upside the head as well.
Oh, can do. I love smacking priests upside the head.
I mean, that's
pretend I didn't hear that.
I pretend I didn't hear most of the things he says.
Wise.
So out of these 3 prongs, then, which one should be of the highest priority?
I think that's up for the 4 of you to decide.
I mean, we got a lot of crew here. We can divide and conquer a little bit, right?
Are you suggesting we split the party?
I'm saying maybe the 4 of us go and go back to exactly where we came from and continue kicking butt in the crypt, and these guys can go do the temple run and evacuate the town. We got, 4 big wizards?
The temple is probably heavily guarded.
At this point,
Perhaps the most well-guarded place on the entire island, not counting where we just were.
Yeah, but guarded by who? Remember when we looked down into Hightown, there weren't many guards left.
Yeah,
True.
I think it's probably guarded by the thing that made it so there's no more guards.
Okay, that's fair.
Also,
From
the
inside,
fact that Eddard Vale has appointed his own priestess, who's to say that others that are faithful to him can't also be keeping watch on that place? And if they were still able to maintain power while Disfuna's was fading, then who knows what they're capable of now.
from
all
inside the
this-
galley, you hear Valencia say, "You need money,
We do need
resources."
I mean, we do need money. We always need money. Money makes the world go round.
We've got to have.
Or wait. Sorry.
money.
Hold on. Let me rephrase that. Money keeps the world flat. I don't know. Money spins the world perpendicular on a disc, like a record. I don't
I
know.
still have that picture on here.
Money keeps the world flat because if the value is lost, then that results in inflation.
There you go.
Money makes the world seem small. I don't. We're gonna have to workshop that.
We will. In game, Tanshu chimes in and says, "Talk on the way back. You did mention there was a salvage or a mission, a job, something that you were
Yes.
hoping to gain something from."
This is true, although given everything that's happened, I haven't thought about it in some time. I figured that our current predicament was more pressing.
World-ending cataclysm, making a little scratch on the side. You know, it's
Well, but that little scratch might give us resources that we need to pay some people or to give us things that we might need for that coming battle.
This is true.
Also, the quicker we are on that, the more we're going to get paid.
This is also true.
and the less likely the town's completely overrun by the time we get back, and the people can actually still pay us.
That part of it too, yes.
Because at this point, I've already written off Vale in my head. I'm already moving on to the next island. So,
We follow your lead. At least I do. Yes, I think for the moment we will help in what way we can, but without any more information, and well, I don't think it would be right for any of us to take the lead here right now anyway. This is your ship. You're in the thick of it, so Captain.
All right. Dinar's going to go over to the stairwell going downstairs and yell down to the crew. Gotta get this ship moving. Gotta pick up a salvage and head into town.
Oh, yeah, we still have to do that. Oh,
I'm
jeez.
assuming Kadana and them didn't do that while we were away.
Nope, you'd instruct them not to because you didn't want them to.
To risk themselves.
You didn't want them to get dead.
We didn't know what was down there, so we were like,
Come down with a bad case of the terminal destruction.
Kadana from the ladder leading down to the hold actually says, "Captain, you want to get the salvage crew? You want it? Are we doing it here? We take the boat in. What do you want us to do?"
Well, don't we need to take the boat closer? Aren't we?
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Hold on, Salty and Ramnap, we're having arm wrestling competition. We'll get them to stop. And we'll be right there, yeah. Kisik is somewhere, I don't know. Probably eating rats.
good man.
Good work, Kissick.
And you hear from somewhere below, you hear like a like a dagger sound or something like and a little bit of a squeal. Hey. Then like you just hear like sigh like very loudly. He goes, "All right, come on, you bombs. Let's get this ship ready to go. The captain is here. All his fancy pants friends want to go salvage. Let's get moving."
Yeah. Kamari, we're going to need you and your friends to help us out with this. Make it as quick as possible so we can get back in and start working.
Shally says,
You're expecting danger, I'm assuming.
We always expect danger.
Danger, but also just more hands is going to make this faster. You guys are magicians, mages, so I figured you might have something that could help us.
I mean, you never knew.
Dinar's going to cast Mage Hand under his breath.
"Oh,
Hand it over
I'm
to
still
Talon
waiting.
and smack him in the face.
Hey, what? All right, I know that was one of you.
who can say which?
Yes. Well, we are wizards. Some of us are clerics. We don't really have. None of us specialize in ships.
Well, it's a good thing y'all have me then, isn't
Or
it?
just there, we spend our lives in a tower. Yes, books.
All right, well then you're going to be our watch guards. If something attacks the ship, we're going to need your help.
As a diviner, I could perhaps do a foretelling. I know that Shelley here has some protective wards that she could put in place. If you die, Tucson can probably bring you back.
The orc just kind of goes,
Probably.
That's pretty handy.
Kamari,
That's why we have Mr. Sparkles, though.
don't take this the wrong way, but how on earth did the 6 of you escape the spire? None of you seem ready for battle.
Well,
That's a good point.
Just because we don't have ship-based magic, do not underestimate the offensive capabilities that we have. I could attack your mind mentally right now if I really wanted to.
But you could also
But you
do
are a
that in
friend,
case...
not an enemy.
But if something was to threaten the ship, you could do that to that creature, whatever it might be, too, right?
Potentially, yes.
Well, that's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, do a little bit of generalization of your skills. That's all we're asking.
Very well. We will magic things that
Love it.
need magicked.
Bingo.
How did you get to the ship, by the way? I know you can't carry all 5 of them, or all 6 of
I'll
them.
teleportation, obviously.
You teleported onto our boat?
Yes, that's my specialty. I did that one.
Yeah, Dinar, we really need to look into some kind of anti-teleportation thingamajigger for this boat, because this is happening entirely too often.
We can discuss this after we get to the salvage.
Well,
Right,
Kamari said she messaged you and was talking about the boat, and she did a scrying to see where it was and get a good look at it so that she could know exactly where we're going, and that she'd give me the details, and I ritual cast it, and here we are.
All right.
You're a wizard, are you not?
I like you. You explain things.
I am. Maybe you and I need to have a conversation, Edwin.
Yeah,
Show me a little bit of some of that.
Wizard. It doesn't even understand how teleportation works. Yeah. Get you a book.
Well, then off we go.
Dinar's going to make his way over to the helm.
We're hearty souls on the ocean's flow. Heave ho, onwards we row.
Susan's contribution to all of that is just...
Is it on rhythm, though?
Could you do that in the key
Totally.
of G flat major?
She like
No,
charges a little
no,
bit higher.
no,
Moving on.
not
Moving
A sharp
on.
major.
She gives you that smile, like the toothless, like, and it's terrifying.
Not F sharp major, G flat major.
Ha!
Ah.
I know your jokes, Devin. I'm a musician too. The same key. All right. So you are.
We've been underground for a while.
So the shallows, you are sort of inside the cove where the shallows begin. And if you recall, when you originally came down here, you kind of anchored the ship out of the way of many of the rocks and the spires that were kind of in this area. And hidden behind those, you're kind of protected from view from the ocean beyond. And the shallows go in for probably a good other... probably a good like kilometer actually, and there's a lot of like rocks kind of everywhere. And at the far end of it, so on the very east side, like right up against the island, you can see that there is a very shallow beach. There's hey, who's doing Doris room? There's like rocks and debris everywhere, and even from this spot you can see the wrecks of at least one, but more likely multiple ships. So it'll come down to finding the actual wreck. There wasn't really a description given of the ship itself for the salvage. It was just a ship that washed up in there. So it's going to take a little bit of investigating, a little bit of searching. Give me, Dinar, give me a nature check.
Okay.
Ooh.
Actually, no, give me a water vehicles check. Better.
Thank you.
You're trained in that.
I have a decent
Personal?
nature, but my water vehicles is definitely better. Let's do that one. Water vehicles is a +8 now. Ooh. That's a 19 +8, so 27.
You know everything. You are one with the ship.
Yes. I'm just
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
You gather you could probably only take the Radiant Dawn in about another 500 meters or so before it gets way too shallow and rocky, and even then you're kind of pushing it, given that this is, there are shipwrecks kind of all over the place. Being a salvage vessel being a bit of a smaller ship, you do have a little bit of a your draft isn't quite as deep as like some of the bigger ships, so you are able to navigate shoals to a certain extent, but you're not a river boat, so you can't get like super shallow. So getting in any further would require either swimming or rowboat, flying over something else other than
okay.
taking the Dawn right in.
All right, we're gonna lay anchor here. My crew, Talon, Flick, Torque, you're with me.
Yo.
Kamari, if you don't mind coming with us as well, you can kind of keep eyes on us from above.
A bird's eye view.
Bird's eye view. Forgive my
Yeah,
words.
no insult intended.
All right.
We're going to try to make quick work of all of this, get as much as we can. Before we go, let me give us all a little assistance. Dinar will sit down and ritual cast water breathing for... How many people can I do that for?
Oh, I'm so tempted to just cast it immediately to outdo you, but I don't want to waste the slot.
So that's going to be Dinar.
Why are you like this?
Tayland. We'll give it to Kamari as well.
So let's fix this up, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
You pick 10, I'll pick 10, and we'll cover the entire crew.
I don't even know. Don't we have like 12 people?
This is regardless. We
Yeah,
can both
it's
cast
up
water
to-
breathing as a ritual, so we
Okay,
can
so
just
we'll just cover the whole crew.
get everybody within 10
There's
minutes.
15 people on board presently.
Okay.
So we can get all of them in the span
Yeah.
of 10 minutes. Now,
All right.
I do want to clarify that my casting of water breathing is much more entertaining than yours.
You just spit at everyone.
I imagine there's a song involved.
He just takes a big swig and like covers everybody in it.
Yes, I'd like to think that as
But,
Dinar is ritual casting this, that he, following theme of his illusory images, that Dinar pulls out his little short reed, gets it kind of floating magically in front of him, and then as like his hands are kind of coming up around it, doing one of these, kind of waving around, and then as he's thinking of his 10 people, their illusory image pops up and circles around the reed as he's casting.
Now that I'm staring down at the darkest abyss, I'm not sure what I want, but I don't think it's this. As my comrades call to stand fast and forge on, I make sail for the dawn till the darkness has gone.
But you're on the dawn.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Moving on.
All right, so the whole crew's got water breathing, and the 4 of us plus Kamari, if she accepts, will head out to the salvage area, or the
Okay.
wreckage area.
Once more, once
She
more.
will fly above, yes.
Yeah.
Go to sea once more. But a man must be blind to make up his mind and go to sea once more.
So, anybody who wants to, you can go ahead and give me a perception check. I will say that you have
I'll,
advantage because you have an owl helping
I'll
you
give
as
it
she
a-
flies above.
I'll give it a shot.
You say
28.
we all roll with advantage?
Anybody? Yep. You've got
Ooh.
Kamari giving you advantage because she's literally flying overhead helping you, right? So
Well, I got a 21.
Dinar gets an 18 total.
28, Talon, that's it.
All right, I rolled low. What can I say?
We're a very perceptive bunch,
Wow,
aren't we?
28, 21, 23,
18.
18. Okay.
Yeah, I'm the least perceptive of all of us.
It's that
Yeah,
proficiency
it was an
bonus
18,
boost, man. It's
Keep it
Yeah,
low,
yeah.
18.
Expertise is a hell of a thing.
Okay. So what could potentially take a while looking at the wrecks. You gather that you're looking for one that's a little bit more recent. How recent, you're not entirely sure. I mean, some of these look like they've been here a long, long time. And given the nature of the salvage, it's like, well, you're probably looking for something that within the last, few weeks, months, maybe. And your search quickly cancels out, some older ones that you can see where like what's left of the mast is, almost fully rotted through or like covered in barnacles and like just crusted. There's like bird poop all over it. Something that's basically become part of the landscape. And almost towards the very end, like the very back of the cove, you see freshly torn sail. You see some flotsam floating in the water, a couple barrels here and there. A much more obviously recent wreck, as there's still debris that hasn't been fully broken apart. You can still see some of the rigging connecting the sail. The main mast, stuck in the water, has got part of the crow's nest is like broken off, but there's still like kind of part of it there. The remnants of a flag at the top as well. So that would likely be your best bet for a recent wreck. But it is like all the way at the end of the cove. It's going to take a little bit of navigating to get through the shallows. So even in a rowboat, you don't have to worry about the bottom, but there are swells and waves that kind of come in and crash. Lots of rocks that kind of work as wave breakers. But there's quite a bit of a current as well. So who is manning the oars on the rowboat?
Not to make any assumptions, but I'm pretty sure Torque would be.
Well, is
correct.
this more about being able to have the strength to push the ship or the boat, or more about being able to maneuver the boat?
It's going to be a combination here. So I'm looking for a couple roles. So my first thing is just who is on the oars.
It's probably Torque.
Yeah.
This is correct.
Okay,
Row
and
the boat round the eddies and shoals.
who is sort of at the front? Who is navigating, so to speak,
I believe that would be Dinar.
watching for rocks and the like?
Maybe Dinar and...
Can we get a list of all the things first?
Yeah. What are the things?
Okay. So the other one then would just be, calling out for any dangers at that kind of around the back and the side. So it's primarily like strength, kind of keeping it. Somebody looking for waves and swells behind, to kind of, to get Torque ready to possibly angle into them. And then somebody at the front actually looking for, any rocks or debris to make sure that you don't run into it.
I'll say that Dinar is probably looking for danger, given his history with...
Given our collective history.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we just need someone to help direct Torque.
Yeah. So who's leading? Who's saying go this way? Who's going to say, port, starboard,
I'll take that one.
off the oars?
Now, can I help him?
Hoist
give
up the
advantage on his
thing,
checks?
batten down the what's that
You want
thing
to help?
spinning?
So you're going to help
Somebody should
Talon?
stop-
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
Oh,
no, I'll
God.
help Dinar. Yeah, Talon doesn't need the help. He's got a plus 12. I'll help Dinar.
Turn hard to port. That's not port.
That's right.
Now I've got it.
I'm trying to figure out if one of these is going to require a water vehicles check.
Okay.
Whatever the one that is, that should be Dinar.
All right. So Torque, go ahead and give me a strength. We'll call this athletics. This will be an athletics check.
Thank you.
You should rage.
Make a strength persuasion check.
Strength.
Persuade the oars to take you further.
Flat your muscles at the boat and like go.
That was a 6 for a total of 15. Torque's rowing is a little bit off.
A little bit.
He's got a lot on his mind right now.
Yeah.
It's he's
rowing
finding it
for two.
difficult to focus.
Rowing for 2. All right, Dinar, give me a perception check, please.
A perception check. I shouldn't have been this guy. Oh well.
With
Perception.
advantage because I'm helping.
With advantage, thank you.
I thought you were helping Talon.
No,
he switched.
Oh, okay, you switched. Okay, yeah.
Good, because I rolled a 1 and a 13, so only 14.
nice.
So my perception is 1.
Okay.
We should switch up next time.
Yeah.
And Talon, either survival or nature.
We'll
that
go with
should have been me.
survival. We'll go with survival.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, I got that.
You're
backwards.
trying to read the currents. You're trying to look for threats.
Yeah. Ooh, that's not great. That's not great at all.
Dinar's
So-
a horrible captain.
You're all a little bit preoccupied, I think, with what has recently transpired, and it's a bit of a rough go. You very narrowly miss like a couple of rocks that are just below the waves, right? And you know, Kaylin, you kind of see them just the last minute, and you're just like, look, that way, port, that way. And you just kind of miss out of the way. Torque managed to just like wrench on one of the oars and get around it.
Dinar, which way was port again?
That way.
That way.
Which way is port and which way is rum? Oh,
say I've got
sherry, I guess. Yeah, I was gonna say port and sherry. So you bump into a few rocks, scuff up the hull of the rowboat a little bit, but not too worse for wear. Dinar, with your perception check, not the greatest.
No.
But as you are kind of looking around, you know, you're looking behind or you're looking up ahead and stuff as well. You see something very, very large in the rocks, kind of nestled in where the rocks kind of break out, off of the shore. And at first it's kind of hard to make it out. It's strange. It's not grass. It's not stone. There's just something very large, and it's kind of obscured a little bit by the mist. But your eyes kind of drawn to it. And then Kamari flying overhead, she kind of swoops down and flies and kind of points to it. And she just kind of like hovers, not hovers, but she's just like, kind of flying above the boat for a second. And she says, there's a nest up there.
Nest of what?
Yeah, like a crow's nest from a fallen ship? Or
no, it's very big.
So like a bird's nest.
Yes.
Is there a bird in the nest?
I don't see one. I didn't want to get overhead just in case something that large being in there would not be enjoyable.
Are we entering its territory?
It's possible.
Would Dinar have any recollection of what kind of bird would make its nest on the ocean?
Give me a nature check.
Okay. I'm good at those. Famous last words. 13 plus 4, so 17.
There are several seabirds, some much larger. You guys have encountered rock beaks already, which were large and nasty. There's various types of hawks and gulls and the like. Given the size of what you see, a single word enters your mind and causes you to shudder slightly. The only feathered creature that would make a nest that big on the coast would be a rock.
A rock?
A rock.
No, she said
R-O-C.
No, she said it was a nest.
Does anyone have any paper?
If you have inspiration, it's gone. Take it away.
Does anybody have any paper?
The currents,
no, just
the waves are kind of bringing you in. Spock. You can see now it is indeed a nest, and there are like, when I say sticks, it's more like logs of like very large trees and branches that have been like formed into this nest. Picture like a robin's nest on the scale of like 1,000. It's just massive thing, and it's nestled within some kind of protective rocks, and all around it you see the wreck of this ship, tattered sail hanging from the masts. You can see, again, there's like crates and stuff floating around. It looks like somebody at one point had made a sort of lookout in this spot, but there's just debris everywhere. There are many smaller birds that are kind of flying around, and you can see some of them diving down to the water to get fish, some of them fighting each other. Far on the shore at the back, you can actually see one looks like it's like circled by some large crabs, and there's like a crab and a bird fight going on. And perhaps they were fighting over food, and then they just got into the scuffle. Hard to tell who's going to win at this point. So there's a lot of activity going on, and a rather massive nest.
I think we have a pretty good idea as to what sunk this ship now.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
So I will put you on the map there, and you see it.
That's a big nest.
Should have brought more people.
Nah, it's just one bird.
Just a wee birdie.
We can take on a big old bird brain. No offense, Kamari.
As well as a dozen smaller birds.
I mean, Kamari can take care of
Oh, wait,
those.
there's another. There's
It's
a
a
big
big
one.
map.
I don't see a big
Winter.
There's a
Oh, I
lot
see a bunch
going
of
on here.
birds.
Yeah, so you do not see whatever made the nest at the moment. You just see the nest, and you see there's just wreckage everywhere. Like this ship has been thoroughly dashed on the rocks and broken to bits. There's stuff floating. There's sail, hanging. It's
So
completely
here's a
ruined.
question: why would a ship that size come in here where all these rocks are?
But both kinds.
Or is it possible that the tide, like the waves, brought the wreckage in this way?
It's possible that
Maybe-
it limped into the shallows and then got caught up in the rocks and just has crashed into here.
As a
Or
sailor,
maybe-
Kellen, I would say that getting caught in a massive swell and pushed in during a storm would be likely.
Unless, and hear me out,
The rock picked it up.
the bird carried it here.
Well, what I understand
I don't think
of rocks
I
is
don't
they
think
are
it's big enough
gigantic.
for that.
Not
There's gigantic,
below.
and then there's like, oh, you mean multiple? Okay, yeah, multiple rocks can do the trick.
The ship looks to be probably slightly smaller than the Radiant Dawn. So this is not a large merchant vessel. This is of a smaller sort. Not quite. It's probably akin to a ketch, kind of on that size. So
Okay.
you can see two masts. So it would have been a double master, just like the ketch would, like the Radiant Dawn.
Even then,
So as
Shall
far as
we-
ships go, on the smaller size, but still a big ship, right?
Shall we begin the salvage operation then?
well, I mean, I figure we should just be as quick as possible, get it all done, right?
You could certainly
This-
try.
I mean, what? It's a bird. It can't hurt us underwater.
No, that's probably true.
Well, no sense in delaying
let's-
any further then.
Let's go below the waves and find the giant nest that lives below the waves.
Hmm.
A couple of the
Torque,
smaller birds seem to be eyeing you at this point and kind of.
Torque will just drop off, dive into the water.
Okay. It is pretty shallow at this point. You can as soon as you drop in, the water is there's white caps in the waves and stuff. There's a lot of wave breakers around, but you can see at maximum you're probably looking about like 10 feet
No.
to the bottom here.
That's really shallow.
Yeah. Like this thing's
You know,
gargantuan. It could just pluck us out.
I was gonna say, that's shallow enough to reach a 10-foot reach attack.
Well, it is
breathing,
called the shallows.
Yep.
I tried to hint at that.
yeah,
pretty,
yeah.
The water breathing might have been a little bit redundant here.
Not
the
necessarily.
shallows, not
Water,
the depths.
I mean,
water
all we
breathing
really-
is always good.
All we really needed was like a snorkel.
No, water breathing is
Uh,
always good.
Torque, as you go out of the boat, Kamari like lands back in and she's like, I don't really feel like flying right now.
Yeah, that's fair. Although it would be really nice to know if the giant bird's coming.
I will look up.
Great.
I imagine that if it was, all these other creatures would not be here. I just get that feeling.
Do we know exactly what we were here to salvage?
Just whatever we could get, I think.
Yeah.
All that the information was given was that there was a ship that was on its way to Tyr, trading vessel that got beat up on the shores. Nobody claimed it. Nobody sent anything for it. So basically, the salvager was like, "Go get it."
You all see Torque's
Turtles of
turtleneck
worse.
just. You all see Torque's like turtleneck just extend up above the water, and he's like, "Is anyone going to follow me, or should I just drag the boat closer?"
Yeah, we're coming. And Dinar will hop off the back of the boat.
Okay. What are you guys doing with the boat?
Well,
There's an
yeah,
anchor on
because
board.
it's
A small anchor.
We'll drop that.
Torque will just start like literally not even swimming, but just walking along the bottom of the water. Walking along, not the bottom of the water. That makes no sense. Walking along like the bank.
Gotcha. So you put the anchor down, and it kind of like moves a little bit as the swells like push the ship into like right up against the fallen mast of this wreck here, and it just kind of seems
think-
to be hanging out there now. Like, boom.
What Flick's going to be doing is sort of skipping rock to rock and finding stuff that's still floating and grabbing it with his whip and dragging it towards the.
hey,
Okay.
question for everybody, and this is in game. Hey, I'm gonna wave at the people underwater.
Torque will surface.
Is any of the
Gotcha.
is any of the salvage above the tide, above the waves, or is it all below the water? What can you see?
Good question. What can we see?
I mean, I assume
so-
that most of it would be over here.
Tailend, with your 1 million passive perception,
Only 28.
you can see underwater. You're not entirely sure. So you see some barrels floating here. Further down, there are what appears to be a group of crates and chests. So you kind of seem to be caught in a little bit of an eddy. Down here, there is apparently like there's a cargo hold that you can actually see broken open kind of on this part of the ship up there. So there's at least 3 spots right now where you can see that there is potential cargo and goods, and further in there's probably some. You can see that there's the front of the ship is further into that cove, and it actually almost looks like there's a little bit more of a like it's shallow and then it goes deep for a second and then gets shallow again. So there's possibly something in behind the rocks and stuff as well. They'd have to search more actively, but from where you are, you can see at least 3 spots of likely salvage.
Correct. Technical question about leveling up without a long rest.
We got a long rest.
You guys got a long rest.
We got a long rest?
Yeah.
yeah.
Shutting up. Okay.
160 feet.
Yeah, you guys got a long rest in the room, and then
All right.
on the way back, it took you more like you got a long rest, and you're all
So would we
refreshed
have
and
leveled up
everything, so-
in the room?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since Torque is already headed this way, he'll go over to the barrels and kind of
The-
surfacing. He'll sort of like just grab a barrel and see if he can determine what's inside.
Seeing as we're only seem to be threatened by aerial assaults, does everybody want a nice little bit of foggy cover? How bad is the wind here?
Big tides? I imagine it's pretty heavy.
From the sound that I've put on there, it's pretty windy.
Would you
yeah.
consider it a moderate or greater speed?
Yes,
Okay.
very much so. Like, yeah, you've got white cap waves coming in, right? Like, and it's things crashing up against the rocks. So, any fog you put here would just get blown away.
Oh, sorry, were the crates floating or were they underwater as well?
They look like they're caught. Like they're shallows, and there's like a little bit of an eddy there, and they just kind of seem to be kind of like bumping up against each other and just kind of caught in that spot there. Torque could give you an investigation check.
Okay.
Dinar, while you are you up on that mast?
No, sorry, going underneath it. I'm underwater as well.
Okay. As you swim under, like looking up, you can see the 2 hawks there, kind of like looking down at you, like.
My investigation was a 10.
10. Okay. Easily enough. You pick one up, one of the smaller ones, and it appears to be a keg of whiskey. It actually has it written on the side of it, Gungrim whiskey.
We'll have to keep this away from Tailend if we want to collect our reward.
Another one.
Torque's
seems
just
to be marked-
gonna scratch the paint off the barrel. Scratch the label off.
It is burnt in, and it's actually etched in, like fire branded, basically. Yeah, much more reliable than paint in water. The other one is a barrel of gunpowder.
Which is probably not that usable right now.
And there's a third barrel
It can dry.
that is unmarked and doesn't seem to have any indication of what's in it at all. It's heavier than you would expect, and what's inside, it kind of makes a sound almost like sugar or powder or something along those lines, like something of that nature, but you're not entirely sure what it is.
Torque will just kind of start pushing all those things towards the boat.
Okay.
He'll lead with the mystery barrel and give that to Talon to distract him from the whiskey. Be like, "What do you make of this?"
Investigation check.
Okay.
Could the two of you that are swimming give yourselves a blue dot so that we can tell who's swimming?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
21. I got blackjack. That's what I say about that.
Talon, you pull this barrel up with Torque's help, and it is quite heavy. He's like, "Oh," you put it on there. We're talking not like big barrel. It's more like, decent kind of like keg size. And no markings on it. You kind of you can hear a little bit of a shaking kind of sound inside, sifting sound. You manage to pry off the seal, and inside,
Crack the barrel open to see what the
it is
letters
filled
say.
with pure, refined residuum, which you know to be extremely valuable.
Sweet.
This barrel's full of money.
2 scoops of that, and everything else can get sold.
Yeah, this is going right on the boat. Right there. That's good.
So as a spellcaster, I'd say residuum can take the place of almost any component in certain rituals and spellcasting. It has varying degrees of potency. This is like pure refined. Like this is dragon scale grade, possibly.
Woo! It's good stuff.
You could say that again.
This is good stuff.
Yeah. Old.
Dinar, assuming there is a way into this part of the ship, will make his way over there as Flick.
Okay.
moves. Flick, you're on the rocks. You're hopping from rock to rock.
Yep.
So Flick, are you describe to me how are you moving about here? Are you trying to be sneaky and quiet, or are you just like looking around, jumping around, whipping stuff?
I see a bunch
Okay.
of birds. I don't care.
All
They're
right.
not bugging me. I'm not bugging them.
Well, they have caught notice of you. Well, the others are kind of underwater, a little bit bigger. You seem to be a little bit closer to their size. The two that were kind of on the mast over here, one of them hops over, like kind of flies over the rock, and just kind of looks at you and goes, "Ah! Ah!" And a few others start to come a little bit closer. They seem to have eyed you. What do you want to do?
I guess I'll get Paige out.
Okay. Dinar, you can give me an investigation check while this is happening.
Okay.
What do I know about bloodhawks?
Give me a nature check.
Ooh, I'm good at nature. Actually, not bad. 16.
With 16, you understand that these are birds that hunt together. They're not solo creatures. You see a number of them here together. They tend to like to swarm their prey and overwhelm them. And they have very keen eyesight, and their beaks. They're not like the deadliest of birds, but it's numbers. So 1 or 2 might not be that an issue. Half a dozen together coming at you could be a bit of a problem.
I mean, they are called bloodhawks, and not.
They are called
ticklehawk.
bloodhawks. Yeah.
They are not called ticklehawks for a reason.
It's true. Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Dinar, what'd you get on your investigation?
A total of 6.
6. Okay. Trying to find a way underneath. You're not sure. There's a lot of rock, and you kind of go under, and the water's really mucked up there. It's hard to see. There's tattered sail kind of like hanging in the water as well. But you do figure you could probably get to the hold from on top of the ship if you climbed up onto the wreck and can move that way.
Okay.
But looking under, it's hard to. You have no idea.
All right. Well, I'm going to get to work on these crates, and I'm going to cast Dragon's Breath, my new spell, on Paige.
Ooh.
I'm going to have Paige start clearing out these Bloodhawks.
That's
Love it.
amazing.
Are you
Love it.
sure? That seems like a good way to tick somebody off.
Do you
So
have
I'm gonna-
Paige? Or do I do? I forgot if you had that or if I had it.
I do not.
I had the token. Where did it go? Where are you, Paige? You are not there.
Merry Christmas.
Where are you, Chris? Where's Paige? Paige disappeared on me.
Yeah.
I can't find it in my.
Well, Paige is dead.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I found Paige.
Hooray.
There's Paige. Not that big.
Oh, God.
Big bird.
And I have to reset it for some reason. It's reset on me. So controlled by Ian, and I'll give it Echo as well so you can see it. Bang. There you go.
Perfect. So I will give Paige. I think I'm going to make it. What do you think? Fire breath sound good? I think fire is probably a good choice. So I'm concentrating on the spell, but Paige is delivering the goods.
Okay. Well, I'll let you get one attack off there.
Yeah, it's just a question. Which one do I want to peel off? I think I'm going to come over. Oops. Come over here and get this one.
Okay.
So it's a 15-foot cone, so I should be able to tag it from there.
It watches this paper bird flying around like.
Uh-huh. And suddenly, a 15-foot cone of fire comes out of it.
Out of a paper void.
Damn, that's a really bad damage roll. But,
Well,
dex save
it's
for
gonna-
half.
That makes it dex save, so let's see here. Whew, and I got a 19 on that.
So 4 points then of fire.
So 4 points of damage. Doesn't kill it, but singes it really well and lets out a blood-curdling screech, which maybe is connected to his name. And you hear multiple caws and cries from all over the cove. We're going to roll initiative.
Good job, Flick.
Hey, man, just keeping them off my back while I'm doing my job.
Oh, Serena, why are you in there? You're not
I
supposed to
believe
be in
this
there.
is what we call a target-rich environment.
Okay, time to roll the bones.
Oh, what's going on? What's happening?
Oh,
Why do I-
Hey, that's a pretty good roll.
What the heck is going on here?
I'll tell you
I've
what's
got
going on.
multiples of, like,
we're running
everyone.
We're running real good is what's going on.
Okay, I've got 2 torques at 19. That's weird.
Because on my screen, everything looks as it should.
Might be
Yeah,
stuff left over
mine's-
from a previous map.
Yeah, but I cleared it, so I don't know what's happening here.
Roll 20!
Flick, you got 11. Dinar,
19.
And as I've learned, I've also rolled for Paige, who got a 14.
oh yeah, see, so Flick, yeah, you're on there. That's weird. Okay. Sorry, Paige got a
14.
14. I have to roll for Kamari. Oh, big old 4. And we'll roll for Bloodhawk. 8. All right. So Torque and Dinar both have 19. You can decide between the two of you, who would like to go first?
Captain, if you would.
I was going to delegate to you because you rolled a higher die roll, but sure, I'll go first.
Yeah.
How audible would that dragon breath be from underwater? Granted, only about 4 foot of water above me.
From where you are,
Not
give me a
far,
perception
but-
check. Give
yeah,
me a perception check. With disadvantage, actually.
Yeah. I rolled a 17 and an 11. So the 11th plus my 1 of perception is 12.
I mean, you probably heard something, but yeah, you don't know what it was. It could have been like a wave crashing.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Sorry, was that the blood curdling screeches that you missed, or the spell?
The spell
Either.
is what I was asking about, yeah. Alright, well then,
Actually,
I
yeah,
guess...
the screech you probably would have heard. You would have heard the bird go.
Alright. I was already aware of the birds up there, so at the screech, I'm assuming they've become hostile. So Dinar will surface in his best attempt to be facing where he thought that sound came from. What I'm going to be able to take in that initial breach.
Well, you see a half on fire bird, so I mean that's probably a pretty good indication.
Alright, a half
One
on-fire
bird looks slightly more well cooked than the other.
Page is a white piece of paper.
Yep.
I imagine Page would be hard to see.
She's pretty small.
Although, I've got my fractured eyeballs on, so...
On, as in just they are
yes,
there,
they're
so
glasses,
yeah.
they're spectacles.
Fractured.
Alright, well I guess Dinar will breach the water and call out, "The heck's going on?" And he's going to focus this Bloodhawk over here.
Okay.
With a... Dinar's going to prepare a firebolt for that because he's not sure if we're engaging or not. Or what's going on exactly, so...
Okay.
I'll prepare an action firebolt. If this Bloodhawk becomes aggressive towards anybody in the party, firebolt will go off.
Awesome. Torque, you came out of the water, right? Because you're by the boat with Talon.
Like he's still in the water. He just surfaced to but he's still, he's not in the boat, or his head is above water. Essentially,
You would have caught the blast of fire and the screech and all that. So yeah.
Okay.
You can see that Flick has decided to engage the boys.
Clean up the trash.
Torque is going to dive below the water and move 15 feet over here. Time to do that thing we talked about, Craig?
Not yet.
Okay. In that case, Torque is going to enter a rage.
Okay. That question.
And so I guess that will result in my Storm Herald aura.
It happens.
As this is expected.
Oh,
Just kind of like a little bit of a crackle, and then...
I'm just imagining Torque underwater, like...
Oh god, you're doing that underwater?
Preparing to rage, the electricity crackles around and then just stops, and he just kind of like looks at himself in confusion.
I knew we shouldn't have had your shell rubberized.
You still get your rage effect and everything. Like, your rage works. The cracking aura doesn't seem to come into play for some reason. You still feel angry, though, I guess. That's how your rage is working.
Torque is concerned about this, but looking up, he sees the chaos happening already, and will move over here and pull himself up onto the rock.
Okay.
And basically just swinging his anchor around overhead, just try and alert the Bloodhawks and try and get them to divert their attention from Flick onto him.
Give me a persuasion check.
Alrighty. I get a +2 to this, so it's not horrible.
Come on.
17.
Hey.
Okay. You get a couple of their attention. Yeah, they kind of turn and look at you. Kind of do a little walk on the rock, like head
Is
down.
that my action, or can I ready an attack if one draws close?
You can ready an attack.
Okay.
I can say that's even part of your readying the attack. Like you're swinging, like getting ready, and they're just gonna like, hey. Because you can speak as a free action, right?
Yeah, just because they can fly, I feel like it's more conducive to bring them to me.
Sure. Okay, so both you and Dinar are readying. All right. Tailend.
So are we just killing all these birds for no reason?
Your companions seem to be doing something.
Flick! Are you hungry or what?
They're bugging me. Just getting rid of some pests.
Your shouts kind of sound like, "Flag, yeah." You know, because like there's the waves and the wind and everything, so it's like a lot of noise happening.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we're shooting them then?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not spending any spells on this. Well, target practice is target practice, I guess. Do any of them look like they're getting aggressive towards any of my companions? Or Paige?
You can give me an insight or a nature check, I would say, if you want to actively deduce their hostility.
I don't want to just randomly shoot a bird. I'd like to 12.
You might.
Especially when there's a big old nest right there, and
Yeah.
these things look like the right size of baby birds.
Given that one of them just got
Roasted.
partially roasted, there is an aggressiveness to them. As somebody who has a bird familiar of your own,
Yes.
the way that they're kind of, you can see like when they kind of get their head down and their eyes are like wider, and you can see their wings kind of like ready. They've definitely got that stance of like, we're going for it kind of thing. Like they're not just birds like
Okay.
hanging out doing bird things. They're in raptor mode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can Willie talk to them?
I mean,
Can see the bird.
it's possible. Is that what you'd like to try?
I don't know.
Let's open up negotiations.
He has the mimicry trait, so he could mimic them, but we'd have to know what they're saying first. The other option is I could go with like an unearthly chorus and beguile exactly one of them, which seems like a colossal waste of my energy. So
Their language is blood.
blood for the blood god. Yeah, I could beguile one of them once every round for 10 rounds, but like that doesn't seem like it's gonna be serious. I guess I will also hold an action.
Okay.
I mean, it's either that or I do like a vicious mockery or something.
You stupid bird! You're a seagull.
But I
Your
just
mother was a pigeon.
I still don't understand why we're attacking birds that up to this point we're watching is. I don't think I know what bloodhawks are. Like Flick did, and Flick didn't explain anything. So
Okay. So what are you readying?
I am readying a assault shot from the pistol at the first thing to attack any of my companions.
Okay. Paige.
More fire. Let's finish this one off. That's a better damage roll.
Nice.
That's a fail.
All right, that's one cooked turkey.
There is a blast of fire, and there's just a puff of ash afterwards. Just I deleted the one that had the initiative on it.
Oh, I've done that.
That's why I always just put them in the other layer.
Shoot, I know. What did I have as the initiative?
8. They were 8.
Oh yeah, it was 8. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
right.
have a blank space on mine.
The 8's still there.
Just do that one there. Yeah, that one just come on. It's just kind of like that.
Yep. No, that's all good. Yeah, I'll have Paige sort of come over here. Paige's turn done.
Okay. Page of the turn.
All right. Are the others
Flick.
acting at this point? Like,
The other hawks?
yeah.
Oh yeah, they're pissed.
All right. I'll step up to here.
You just
Chuck my
crispied one of
dagger.
their mates, most likely. So,
Dagger's out, chucking it at that one.
which one?
Sorry, the one on the right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, that will hit.
9 points of damage.
Like right through the bird, just like drops off the rock.
Perfect.
Flushes
Bonus
into the
action,
water.
recall the dagger. Second attack on the other one. Just clean them up at this point. I started this, I'll finish it.
Yeah, 20 will hit.
7 more.
Right through the wing.
ooh. Okay. Okay.
That one splatters on the rock.
I mean, what are you guys waiting for? They're pests. Let's clear them up.
You got a problem with birds?
Just the grimy seabirds. No offense, lady.
I am not a seabird.
It's also not grimy.
Yeah.
Anything else, Flick, you want to do?
No, I'm good.
All right.
So Fryer's gonna hit you with a magic missile now.
So, Torque, Dinar, and Talon, who are all readying an action to attack. This thing is going to go 15. It's going to go. No, it's going for Flick because Flick is the aggressor. So
I mean,
It
it
is
did
flying-
make that persuasion roll.
yeah. So it is flying right at Flick. So as it goes by, Talon, Dinar, what do you guys want to do?
I quickly flip a coin to see
You see it
if
go-
he's getting what he deserves or not.
It's going right for Flick.
Unfortunately, Dinar made the mistake of targeting a specific bird, so
That is
I
true.
cannot
you did.
do anything outside of melee range at the moment.
Talon, will you shoot it?
I'm gonna flip a coin to see if I think whether or not Flick is actually getting what he deserves.
Okay.
Yeah, Flick's getting what he deserves.
Okay.
Oh, man.
It's gonna fly right at Flick.
they,
So we'll let the bird rough him up a little bit, and then we'll save him.
they explode on 7 or 6 damage, so I
Yeah.
doubt they hit very heavy.
Well, that's a natural 20.
Yeah, I had to open your mouth.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You had to say that.
Use your
Yeah.
shield.
I love democracy.
For a
I love
whopping,
the Republic.
whopping 6 damage.
For the record, chat, that's a natural 20, because you guys can't see that.
I think I said
On the
that, but
attack
yeah,
against
natural
Flick.
20. So
Oh, man.
a whopping 6 damage. As you're like, their speed actually takes you by surprise. You're like, these things are pests. Ow! One just like flies like beelines right into you and like pecks you in the shoulder.
Well, that sucked.
All right.
I mean, if they want to clump up for me, that's great, but the pecks are hard.
One's not going to quite get to you, but they're coming in. They're definitely coming. Ooh, that one can get to you. One comes in from behind that you didn't really notice was there, flying off a tower. And it is going to get advantage with its pack tactics.
Ooh, schmancy.
And a 16 to hit.
Well, that depends on my wonderful shield. Let's see. My shield says not a hit.
Okay.
Oh.
You hear it kind of coming in behind the screech. You just go, oh! The ping!
Yep, that beautiful iridescent shield comes up and just blocks it. Almost
Right.
instant.
This one that was with the crabs is actually going to 20, 60. He's going to dash to get right up in your grill. So you guys see them, there's like a swarm, like a bunch of them are taken out, and there's still like 4 of them. They're all just like seagulls, just like coming right down on Flick. Kamari just kind of sits about and goes, I don't think I'm needed for this one. I will save my strength. Dinar.
We're in the same boat, Kamari.
Literally.
Yes, that was the joke. Thank you.
I see.
All right, seeing that Flick is getting swarmed, Dinar is going to pull up, get into his hand a couple of little magical darts, and I will cast Magic Missile at, let's see, I should probably not do it at 4th level, just because that's a waste of
No,
energy.
please, no.
I will do it at a 3rd level, though, to get 5.
If you cast it at 1st level, you can just focus fire 1 bird down.
Or I could potentially kill 2 with 1 shot. So,
2 birds with 1 stone,
Two
if you
birds
will.
with 1 magical stone, yeah. So I'm going to send the first 3 to this bird here, and I will send the other 2 to this bird in the back.
Cool.
All right, so for the first bird, that's going to be 2 plus 4 is 6. It's already dead. That's a 7 plus 3, so 10 damage on the first bird.
Bam.
Beautiful.
And then the second bird, that's a 2 and a 1 for 3 plus 2, 5.
Okay, it is not dead, but definitely got a big scorch mark on it.
With that as well, Dinar will spend his movement. Can I climb up this rock, climbing the tattered tail to get up there?
Give me an athletics check to do so, please.
I can do that as part of my movement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Climbing is half speed.
Yep.
Athletics.
I'm trained in this, guys.
Because it is like it's being like it's very wavy and windy and
And I figured it's a little bit tattered as well. That's a 14 plus my 4 athletics, so
Okay.
18.
So yeah, you're able to kind of climb it up. You've climbed rigging and stuff, right, on ships, but that does take you 10 feet. Like each square is double when you're climbing there. So yeah.
Okay. So that's 10, 20.
And you're on flat. Then you're on flat there now. Yeah.
5. So I'll go to there and stand beside Stork, and that'll be my turn.
Okay. Torque.
Well, since I went a full round without attacking or being attacked, that means that my rage is done.
That is true.
And Torque is a little bit apprehensive about trying to rage again because it doesn't seem to be working properly. So instead, I'm
The
going
opposite
to,
of anger issues.
not really having the time to figure out why things aren't working the way they usually do. I'm gonna run 40 feet over here.
Cool.
Attempting to cross over so that I can get closer to Flick to help him.
Okay. Yeah, you can get up on there.
And then I will take the dash action. 5, 10. And then I should have the jump clearance to jump across here.
Yeah, with your strength score easily, you can get across that. I'm gonna take off just dynamic lighting there, just for the sake of you guys seeing where you are.
I can circle around here to attempt to help Flick, but since I took the dash action, I can't do anything else this round.
Correct.
Hopefully, I can at least draw their attention away from him.
Okay. Tayland, would you like to do anything?
Yeah, I think he's learned his lesson, or at least he's suffered enough at this point. There's only 3 of them, right?
There is another one. You see another one up here on these rocks that hasn't engaged yet. That one just kind of seems to be it's kind of like almost sleeping. It's just like nestled down on the rocks.
Oh, okay. Well, I have no beef with it. Unfortunately, if you want me to take out all 3, I'm gonna have to hit both of y'all.
Just shoot the wounded one.
All right, I'll shoot the wounded one then. Why not?
Okay, so that's the one behind Flick.
We need to at least eat them. Is the wind bad enough it's going to affect ranged attacks?
Not
if it's magic?
Yeah, yours is magical, so you're fine.
All right. I shall gather up the salt of the air and ocean around me, crystallize it into a pellet within the barrel of the pistol, and fire!
I like that description a lot better than I shoot it. Yeah, yes. Yes.
And it takes 8 piercing damage.
Yeah, it's dead.
Good. Good.
Doesn't take a lot.
Not at all.
No.
That is an X-Hawk.
Birds don't have a lot of HP. Like, they're birds. They're hawks, but they're still birds. Like,
I'll remember that when the rock attacks us.
That's a monstrosity, not a bird.
All right. Taylor,
I will, I'm saving everything I've got. I'm not going to do nonsense with these birds.
Paige.
All right. Paige is going to fly up and around over here so I can get both of them in a cone without hitting anyone else.
Your familiar is currently a page burner.
And big money, no whammies. Okay.
7 should do it, though, if it hits. Oh,
Failed.
nice.
And drum roll.
Yeah, that's a fail. Which one are you hitting? Sorry?
Both of them in a cone.
Oh, yeah. Let me give you the other one here.
Right.
So one succeeded. The first one is toast. This one takes 3 damage, so that one's still up.
I just assume that it's engulfed in fire, and then a perfectly cooked rotisserie chicken is just sitting on the rock.
Yes,
where it was.
that is exactly, yeah.
Like with the little things on the wings and on
the other one
platter.
served up rotisserie style for you, Flick, I guess, to finish off. If you, I'm assuming you.
Yeah, I will.
So.
I'll just whip it twice. Just regular old whippy attacks here. 14 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
All right. Oh, look, it's dead.
Awesome. Yeah, it's dead, and that's the end of it.
And I bonus action my dagger up off the C4 and put it back in my. All right, now can we get back to work?
Taylor watches this one, kind of sees what was happening, and then just like flies away.
Whoa. Oh, God. I don't know about that.
Torque is just going to stand there, just kind of short of breath from sprinting over, and also just kind of confused by everything that is happening. Just kind of watch the bird go. Like, that's not necessarily a good thing, is it?
I'm gonna take my pistol and just kind of pull slightly down on the copper cord that's on the side of it and hold it up. Yeah, Flick, what the hell?
You're gonna come over and start bugging me. Look, they were circling in on me.
They were fine until you burned them.
I'm a tasty little morsel. They were coming to pick off this rock.
You are quite delicious. Yes, I feel like that's probably true. However, now they're probably gonna go get the big one. Now we gotta hurry up.
Well then, let's get the lead out.
I already did that.
All right, back to work.
All right.
Yes. Look forward to an article. I'm gonna freaking screw myself. Look forward to an article of gun-based magic. How to 101 ways to use your pistol to cast magic.
Torque will
gun.
start moving towards the ship, looking obviously very, very flustered for some reason.
Okay.
Well, here it is, isn't it? Let's not waste any more time. As he'll leap across to the deck.
Okay.
All right.
Dinar will do the same thing, walking the mast line there over to the main part of the ship.
Yeah. Look, we'll get back to work trying to
Bash
in these things.
So.
I can't seem to. There seems to be some sort of invisible wall there that I can't cross.
Yeah, there is. There's a one-way. Add one-way.
Thank you, Roll20, for adding one-way walls.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So Dinar and Torque, one of you can roll investigation with advantage, or each of you can do it since you're both there. And Flick, I'll get you to give me investigation for your quarry there as well.
Sorry, I'm rolling investigation.
Or one of us can roll with advantage.
Yeah.
I'll give you advantage with the health action. Yeah,
I'm up +4. I don't imagine you'd be any better.
I have +1, I think.
Okay. It's an intelligence
Which is
skill, so
like-
that makes sense.
Which is good for a barbarian, but
Yeah. Oh, not great for me.
So Flick, you got a 16 on that.
Yep.
So you pull over. You kind of see mixed in with the crates floating, there is a chest, which grabs your attention much more than the crates. You can see that the crates are actually broken open. There's some like rotted food and stuff coming out of it. One looks like it might have had like cloth that's all soaked and wet now. The chest has got some ornate filigree and stuff on it as well. So you kind of whip that and pull it in a little bit too heavy for you to kind of get up onto the rope, but it looks like it's definitely got a lock, like a pretty significant lock on it, and a chest of this caliber likely has something valuable inside.
All right, that's worth jumping down to get then. So I'll go get that.
Okay. Dinar, what did you get?
With advantage, I rolled a total of 11.
Okay. It's a good thing that the chest is not hard to find there, as there's just a couple of boards on it. You just kind of like move a couple of boards away with Torque kind of helping you, just like picked up a big one. And you find a small chest there as well. Yours is probably like a lockbox type style, okay. Maybe like a foot across. Flick.
Oh.
So you see that there definitely is a lock on this, and even at like quick glance, this is going to be locked. This is the type of chest that is not just going to be only unlocked.
Sort it out later. I'll just take the whole thing, kit and caboodle, back to the launch, and I'll have a handful of rotten food on the way, extra briny, And
I would like to reach into my pocket and pull out a gold gilded acorn, give it a bit of a shake, and toss it up into the air to conjure up good old friend Willie Redtail as a much larger bird.
The big Willie.
He's free.
And get him to help. He's got 18 strength. And we can get him to help ferry the barrels and crates.
Okay. We'll make him bigger. There you go.
Because I feel like this is going to take a while if we're doing this manually.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. For some of this, we can just say, like you grab it.
Capture the wild things and bring them in line.
All right. So
was never your...
Flick, your chest is over. Okay. Dinar, opening yours up.
Oh, it's I can open it. Okay.
You can already see that it's already kind of half broken. Inside, you see 10 emeralds of a rather nice cut, actually. And an extremely fancy golden necklace with expert craftsmanship. This is worth a bit combined.
Good thing Dinar's not a pirate. You all might not agree with that, though.
I mean, if the guy's not there to take the salvage,
the lockbox probably not worth keeping if it's broken open.
Yeah, it's non-functional anymore. Like it's busted.
Okay, then Dinar will just pocket the emeralds and the fancy necklace for now.
Okay, you know how to wear it, like.
Yeah, I guess we're only.
No. Dinar's aware of magical items. He ain't putting it on himself. He's putting it in his pocket. I don't know if this is an amulet or a necklace. It's just going in my pocket.
We're gonna have to be careful. Make sure we don't grab so much that our boat can't stay afloat.
We may need multiple trips for this.
That was another question that I had. How far away from the ship are we?
500 meters.
500 meters.
Half a kilometer.
And I...
That's a fair distance.
That's 500 feet. That's not... Okay.
I suppose we could send Willie carrying one item at a time back and forth. That'd be...
We could. I mean, he's only around for an hour.
The other option...
Watch him get picked off by the rock.
Mari's like, I could pick something up and fly it back as well.
Thought you didn't want to fly.
If I'm flying away, I'm okay with that. I can fly low, I suppose.
I could also reduce one of the chests, so it's 1/8 its weight.
That's one chest, though.
Yeah, but if we find like a really big one.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be helpful. You could also enlarge Willie.
I could do that too.
I need you to enlarge my.
And there it is. 41 episodes have been building up to this moment.
Devin's dead.
It would make him a medium-sized bird.
Is that spelled the color blue? You cast it.
Make him a medium-sized bird, which is, I mean, a human-sized bird, which should be big enough to carry most things.
It's true.
Right now, he's like a bird the size of a child. It's still pretty good size.
Or like a gnome-sized bird.
Yeah, gnome-sized bird.
A gnome bird.
Roughly the same size as like Flick.
So a medium-sized bird with 18 strength is like nothing to scoff at. You could carry a fair bit with that.
Yeah.
That's true. Let's keep looking, see what else we find.
Okay. So you've gathered Flick and Artork, especially kind of in the area. You've picked up pretty much anything that of value, sort of in this section of the shallows of the rocks. There is another section of ship closer to the shore, and then there's like a ruined tower, and there's also the rock nest as well. Those are sort of the other three main areas you have yet to explore.
I think seeing that Dinar is on some elevated platform, he will make his way across towards the tower.
Okay. So why don't we pause a moment before we continue the exploration, since it's after 10 o'clock, so we will take a quick break, a breather, and a dip. You guys go for a quick dip, just have a swim, and we will be right back. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere, and yeah, be right back.
Hey, Elderbrain Collective. If you've been enjoying our live stream D&D campaign and want to support us, there are many ways you can do just that, and we would be super grateful. Seriously, it'd be awesome. First, of course, make sure you're following us on Twitch. Once we get our 50 followers goal, we can make our stream even better with subscriber perks. Then, be sure to follow our Twitter account. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where we post stream VODs as well as additional content coming soon. Of course, you can listen to audio transcripts of our stream on Podbean if that's your preference. Of course, you'll miss out on our handsome faces, but you get our incredible voices, so it's pretty good. You want to hang out with the collective and chat D&D and, well, everything else? Head over to our Discord server. It's open to anyone who wants to join. Finally, we've just launched our Patreon page, which is the optimum and best way to support us. That's redundant, optimum is best. Each tier gets you additional perks, including exclusive Discord emotes, monthly digital content, behind-the-scenes info and creature stats, and, for the truly faithful, you can even gain power over the PCs in-game, live on stream, and have an impact on what happens next. I think that's pretty awesome. We'd love your support. You can find the links to all of our sites on our Linktree. Check out linktr.ee/elderbrain, Linktree/elderbrain. We hope to see you joining us soon as a member of the collective. Happy gaming, everyone.
Whispers in the window are angry waves. Way over the sea of souls. Down to the mists as the ocean slaves. Way over the sea of souls. Hey, ho, the sea of souls. Way over the sea of souls. hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Oh, way ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Sea of souls.
Greetings, wary travelers. My name is Mike, and I will be playing the role of Dinar Neurixius, dragonborn wizard on the Sea of Souls. Allow me to get into character and we can learn a little bit more about this pale golden dragon. Being chosen is supposed to be a good thing. Chosen by the gods to serve a purpose. However, it can mean facing a life alone. I was born in our homeland, Drakor, in the east. And though these scales are supposed to be a blessing, I was reviled by so many. I could see their jealousy, could feel their stares. My own people shunned me, and so I left. I still drew stares when I arrived in Stormhaven. It's hard to miss these scales. But the dwarves were far more accepting of me. I learned I could put my magic to good use out on the seas, so I served aboard a ship, adding my arcana to their arsenal. Maybe one day I'll return home. Maybe they will welcome me as Verithan's champion. Or at least, as kin. For now, though, life among the Gungrim is good. I am used to standing out here, used to towering over this good folk. But what they lack in size, they make up for in heart.
Hi, I'm Ian, and I play the goblin Flick Dogslicer, an Eldritch Knight fighter. Once upon a time, there was a goblin named Flick. That's me. He was a good egg, but as a recently emancipated man, he didn't necessarily have the firmest grasp on the rules of free society, and often ended up on the wrong side of the law. So anyway, I'm in this back alley, minding my own business, rooting through the trash, when this old guy in a blue dress and a big floppy hat with stars and crap all over it comes out of nowhere screaming, "Oh my god, it's a goblin," and starts shooting fire out of his hands at me. So I shanked him. I didn't mean to kill him per se, but, heat of the moment and all that. Now, even I knew how this would play out with the guard, so I'm looking for a quick escape. But this old guy didn't even have the courtesy of carrying a coin purse, just this big stupid book. So, yoink, and I beat feet to the pier and sign aboard the first ship that's looking for crew. Long story short, with enough time and patience, even a bozo like me can figure out a little magic from that big old book. I joined a good crew and enjoy my life as a seafaring mercenary, trying to keep ahead of the law and maybe make a coin or two for myself. The end. By Flick.
Greetings, tale seekers and story watchers. I am Devon, medieval enthusiast and D&D veteran since my 11th birthday when I received the 3rd edition starter set. Led to a bit of a collection. I will be playing the part of Tayland Wavesinger, human bard and mariner, master of the weaponized sea shanty. Oh, it'd be alright if the wind was in our sails. Tayland is a man slowly being consumed by his own faults. He drinks far too much, and has quite a ruthless disposition against those he dislikes. But he still tries to do what's right when he can. As for his goals, well, I'll let him tell you. Oh, me name is Tayland Wavesinger, and I quickly tell to you of a man that I am a-hunting across the ocean blue, with power over the sea and sky. Believe me when I say that when I finally find the bastard, it'll be his last day.
In Xanadu did Kublai Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Alf, the sacred river, ran, through caverns measureless to man. Down to a sunless sea. Torque is a Tortle barbarian, presumed to be the sole survivor of the Loggerhead tribe. Even by Tortle standards, Torque is a taciturn individual, never deigning to use 5 words where 2 will suffice, and as such has been less than forthcoming in sharing his personal history with his compatriots. What is known of Torque is that he was discovered on a remote island by a passing merchant vessel, having apparently been marooned there for some years in the wake of a shipwreck which destroyed the rest of his tribe. It is for this reason that Torque holds a special reverence for Desfuna, goddess of the ocean, whom he believes spared his life in the ocean storm that decimated his kin. Having spent the better part of a decade in near total isolation, Torque is unfamiliar with the ways of the modern world, and his social skills are somewhat lacking. It is perhaps for this reason that he has chosen to align himself with allies who are blessed in the gift of gab, as he continues on his pilgrimage, the destination of which is unknown even to himself. Hi everyone, my name is Jack, and I am not a professional voice actor or performer by any means. However, I do have a serious passion for tabletop RPGs, and I hope that you enjoy this upcoming game as much as we're going to enjoy playing it.
I can feel something inside myself.
Okay, remember
That
the
wasn't going to be the thing we were
remember the remember Twitch terms of service, everyone.
Hey, that was
Fair use.
that's
Is this
Derivative
fair
word right there.
use?
Totally
No,
derivative.
it's share use. It's all good.
Oh,
All right. So Dinar, you were making your way south on the rocks.
Yep.
And for any of you who if you know that song, then you're old, I guess. So cool.
Yep.
Or you know your music. So Dinar is
Or
checking
you're
out-
about to send us a cease and desist.
That's as well, yeah. Please stop. Dinar, you're heading towards the tower, was that correct?
Yeah, Dinar will hop his way over to this tower rock thing, and then work his way up to the tower.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
I guess I'll follow after Captain.
Okay.
I'll just keep directing Willie to like grab that and throw that over there. Don't grab that one and bring that over there.
Wait,
Cool.
Captain, which way did you go? I lost track of your token here.
I went.
He's here.
Oh.
I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, I'll hop across and follow after you just in case.
Flick.
just trying to figure out how. God, I don't want to. I don't want to start anything, and I see a bunch of critters over on the beach, so I'm gonna go group up with everyone else and let them start the fight this time.
I've learned my lesson.
No, he hasn't learned his lesson. He just didn't want to get yelled at again. That's
So you learned your lesson.
There are some crabs on the beach, and they appear to be somewhat crabby.
I was gonna say I see they're labeled Krabby Crab.
They are, because they're a little bit crabby. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
The crustaceans are experiencing frustration.
Oh. Yeah, I like that one. You already have inspiration.
I had to get you back.
Fair enough. So Dinar, as you guys are approaching this tower, it's quite old. It looks like it was possibly a lighthouse at one point. And the sides of it have all just been like ripped to shreds, like part stone. There's some like wooden like shafts and stuff that were in there as well. There's bird crap like everywhere. So it looks like this has probably been used as a roost for the bloodhawks and other things. And you also see some fresh blood.
Oh.
And signs of a skirmish or a scuffle of some sort. There's give me a nature check. You see some feathers.
Okay. I believe this is a +4 for me. Yep. That's a natural 20. +4, 24.
These feathers don't match the bloodhawks. It's not like as big as you would expect from a rock. So it's something bigger than the bloodhawks, but not quite that large. And it's almost like an eagle feather. Like it's got kind of a golden sheen to a little bit of white and a very sharp pinion on it. And there's a little bit of blood kind of around. You see a couple of these feathers. There's some scratch marks on the rock itself. There's on the wall of the tower. So something else fought here.
Scratch marks that
and
would
it's
be
recent.
Scratch marks that would make sense for the feather that I found to be the same animal.
It almost looks, they're probably about like a little bit larger than like your claws. Just slightly larger than your claws.
Thinking back, does it look like something the size of Kamari?
Bigger.
Bigger than Kamari. Okay. Looks like there was a recent scuffle up here, guys. I got bird feathers, I got blood, I got scratch marks.
Are we talking like survivors from the ship?
See, there, I guess maybe someone else decided that the birds were annoying. But they didn't have their buddies to help them.
Eventually.
Is Tayland with us?
No, I'm messaging you.
Oh.
Kalen's in the boat.
He's literally phoning it in.
He's using his gun phone. He's phoning it in, yes.
I mean, I suppose these could be from survivors, but this shipwreck looks like it's been here
Ring, 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 gun
a couple
phone.
weeks. This blood is fresh.
How fresh are we thinking, Captain?
Oh, there's an even better way to be doing
Can
this.
I determine how fresh?
Medicine
blood
check.
is? Medicine check?
I can attempt that if it doesn't pan out for you.
That's a total of 3 for me.
Whoosh.
Dinar's not great with medicine.
Can I give it a try?
Absolutely.
Torok's got slightly better medicine. Well, that's a total of 9. I did say slightly better, so I made sure everyone had tempered.
It's not
I made sure everyone
dried.
had tempered expectations.
The fact that it's not dried, you know that it's given the air around here, the moisture in the air. You're not sure exactly how old, but it can't be more than a couple days. It's got to be within today or last few days. Fresh, yeah.
The ship has been here longer than the blood, is what we're getting at.
Yes. So this is something that has happened after the shipwreck, yeah.
Do you suppose that we were not the first salvage crew to attempt to take this ship?
That I can actually confirm. The gentleman that sent us out here said that he sent out crews and they didn't return.
I'm gonna pull back the
Is that-
hammer on
Is
the
that right,
pistol.
Craig? He'd sent out a crew, but they didn't return, right? Okay.
I'm gonna pull back the hammer of my pistol and just kind of run my finger along the copper wire on the side, and I'm gonna shoot a little pellet that'll fire off towards the group of them. But right when it hits, it will stop in midair and open up as a little scroll will unroll, asking, "What are you guys looking at?"
That's a good way to use it.
I was going to look over his shoulder, back towards Sayland. He'll pull out his copper wire, point back to him. Signs of a recent fight, looks like in the last day or two. There's blood, feathers, and scratches.
And shouldn't we? That's more incentive to hurry up, then, isn't it?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, most certainly. Dinar will put his copper wire away. Can we see inside this tower, or...?
There looks like some spots where there's probably some holes. From what you can tell, there might be a door on the other side. Like you can see kind of like a little bit of an old path.
Okay. Dinar will walk around and try to find the entrance.
Sure. Yeah, you can see it kind of just on the side over here.
Okay.
So inside, you see a little bit more blood. There's some scuff marks here and there. You actually see a couple of leather pouches that have been dropped. One is partially torn. You can see something glimmering on the inside of it.
Dinar will go in and pick that up.
Okay. Inside one pouch, you find 200 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm.
The other one has a bit of a singular bulge to it. You open it up and there's a massive crystal, an amethyst, that's like the size of your fist. It is a big gem.
Was this ship transporting gemstones? Primarily. Come to think of it, considering the other cargo we found, thinking back to the residuum, was this ship specifically meant to transport ingredients for spells?
Did Hargrave give me any of that information?
No.
Sorry, Paulgrave?
He had no idea.
I didn't get that information. He just knew there was a shipwreck and it was up to him to salvage it. He was looking to...
It's basically how he
What
makes
I'm
his
looking
living.
for. Yeah.
He's a salvager. It's how he makes his living, yeah.
No,
Bartering
I don't
and
think he had
salvaged
an idea
goods.
of what was in there. Dinar will pocket the gold and the amethyst for now.
Okay.
And then come back out. Guess we should go check the other half of the ship.
Take that one off there.
I guess
Are these like white and red wooden platforms kind of like ramps?
That's part of the tower, like part of the tower that's been broken and shattered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The crabs kind of like they're kind of watching you enough, like as you get close, and they're just like, these are big crabs. Like these are not quite this. They're probably close to the size of the birds, actually. Like they're large.
So from about 10 feet, so I'm going to get 15 feet away. I'm just going to crack my whip out. Hey, get out of here, you. Snap my whip a couple of times, see if I can spook them.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an intimidation check.
All right.
Smart.
You can use strength or charisma for this, whichever you prefer.
Charisma, definitely. For that +1. Oh, hey, I'm trained in intimidation. I might be actually good at this. Hey, how's a 22 work? Put a little blooming blade action
on
that.
crabs, really well. Yeah,
Mhm.
they scuttle off into the water, just kind of like one actually kind of goes like way off to the side, and they kind of still hang around, but they don't seem to be interested in either. Kind of doing that crab thing where they're just like do the sidewalk and
Yeah, that's right.
More of a threat display than anything else.
Yeah, they kind of like they're picking at stuff off the ground, like eating things and picking up seaweed, things like that. But they seem to be minding their own business.
So is it easy enough to get onto this from the shore, or are we going to have to like climb?
Looks like
up?
you probably can. Yeah, like it looks like if you get fairly
Right,
close,
right,
there's you can kind of get.
I mean, water
back
breathing
of it.
is still active. We can always just circle around and take the back door.
The crabs do kind of seem to keep a distance from me now, and just there's a couple on deck. One of them just like splashes off.
Captain, when we get back to our ship, there's probably something I should discuss with you.
Okay.
But for now, let's focus on the task at hand. Just remember to come see me when we return.
Okay.
All right, plan of
As,
attack. Little guy, why don't you head underwater? I'll check out what's on deck, and D, you keep an eye out for big birds.
Torque will just nod and stride into the water then.
And I'll scamper up
Okay.
on deck.
So Flick, you can see entrance to a cargo hold here.
Nothing else on the deck, though?
Nothing else on the deck. No, the deck's all ripped apart. I mean, there's like tattered rope and things like that, but yeah, nothing of value. But you do see the entrance to a cargo
All
hold.
right, well, I'll throw that open.
And then, yeah, it opens up. There's Torque. You can see that the hold is like completely open and exposed as well from that side.
I'll just kind of circle around and step inside, for lack of better description.
There's a couple of things. There's crates, few barrels that are marked sugar. There's a crate that's marked canvas. There's a few. There's like foodstuffs, rations, kind of typical stuff that you would expect to find in a ship hold. There is a very large chest. It appears to be bolted to the floor of the cargo hold in place. And like the smaller chest that you found, like this one has similar golden detailing and filigree on it. And a rather complex looking lock. Something of value, something worth protecting.
Using my anchor as a pry bar, I'll see if I can try and remove the chest from the floor, if possible.
Okay. Improvised pry bar. I'd say well, I'll give you the crowbar effect, so I'll give you advantage on
You said
Athletics?
athletics. Yeah.
I thought he said I'm using my anger as a pry bar. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm using my
I mean-
anchor as a
I mean-
Anchor.
anger or anchor. It's flex.
Anchor,
So
yeah.
either way, it's the same
Anchor.
effect. Okay. I mean, it's Torque. When Torque gets angry, it's
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So with advantage, that is a 20.
okay. So you guys are like right up here where it is. So you kind of get under there and you like just pull back on it, and there is the boards kind of start to snap, and it's less that the chest gets removed from the floorboards as the boards are starting to come loose from the rest of them because they've been they're waterlogged, there's damaged, and just
I mean, whatever works.
part of the chest does come free from the bolts that have put it down on the ground there. And as it does, there's like a split second of like a bit of a hum, and then there's a flash. I need Flick and Torque, both of you, to give me dexterity saving throws, please.
Oh boy!
Would my danger sense
Danger
come
sense,
into play
yes, absolutely.
here? Danger sense, yes. Okay.
Since
That's a big 7.
I'm still on the deck, do I have cover from this and possibly advantage? If it's a-
Oh yeah, if you didn't go down there, then
Yeah,
you would have. So you would have. I'll give you advantage on it. Yeah.
cool. And that's a deck save, you said?
Yeah.
Well, how's a 25 work?
Works pretty well. And Torque only got a 7 on that.
I
Okay.
only got a 7 on that.
So there is a concussive like blast that kind of comes out, and it's less that Torque. You catch a flash, for a split second. The concussion seems to be like the false trap, and within it you actually see a blast of these like almost like needle like shards just kind of come out with that as the real danger. So Torque, you take 30 points of piercing damage.
Oh.
And Flick, you take 15 as again there's kind of a moment where like there's the blast and then you're like, what the whoa, and then you see like these shards just kind of shooting out everywhere. You manage to duck out of the way. All over the wall of the hold now there's just like pinpricks like everywhere.
Wow.
Torque will just look down at the various needles stuck in his arm and just, I'm growing very tired with today.
I hear that. You right down there, little guy?
I'll live, probably.
All right.
I think
Your danger sense seems to be abated by that. There is still a big, hefty-looking complex lock on it, but
hearing that, Dinar is going to scramble up the front of the boat.
okay.
Is everybody all right?
Did I successfully make the chest able to
this crab is
transport,
toast.
or?
It's a big chest. Like this is probably bigger than you could pick up. Like it is massive.
Well,
Very heavy. It's very heavy
Take care
looking.
of that, Torque.
I'm certainly not going to try that again.
Dinar will bring up an illusory image of the chest in his hands and shrink it down.
That'll work.
Dude, you're trying to cast Reduce on it?
Yes.
The fact that you said
saving throw,
try.
please.
Yeah, you
Thought
caught
about the fact that it might fail.
you guys caught that, eh?
Give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh no! And Dinar died.
The end.
He died the way he lived, casting useless spells.
Wisdom saving throw?
Yes.
That is a 6 plus 5 for 11.
11. Okay.
Wait,
Um,
if that fails, I will use my arcane deflection to get a +4 to my bonus save, or to my saving throw.
for a total of
15.
okay. So it still fails. You take 17 points of force damage
Okay.
Oh,
as you feel your spell like hit it, and then there's something that just kind of like blocks it. There's like a shield of some sort that resists the spell, and it kind of pulses back at you, and you just get hit with this. Like it's not quite psychic, but it's like force. Like it hits you internally. So it's like your mind, like it's almost like your spell backfires and just overloads you. Where you're like, well, maybe not such a good idea.
Okay, that thing has got to have something incredibly valuable inside of it. It's double trapped.
All right. First thing I'll do is second wind to top up, and then I'm going to go try and pick that lock. All right, so I get 14 points back.
Third time's the charm, right?
Uh-huh. All right.
Give it a go.
So I will jump down into the hold,
Okay.
and I will try to pick that there lock.
All right. Give me an investigation check, actually. I'll say, 'cause that's what you're doing here.
Well, 14.
Okay. Right as you're about to start, you look at it and you're like, trap.
What the hell? All right. What can I do about this trap?
You can attempt to disarm it. This one seems more mechanical as opposed to magical, the other two types.
All right. Well, let's give the old college try.
how is the loading up of all of the salvage going on the other end?
Yeah.
Well, while these guys are off finding treasure.
Pretty uneventful.
Okay. I will begin singing loudly.
Okay.
All right. So these tools
Much
disarm it.
appreciated, I think.
All right. So 22 to
Okay.
disarm the trap.
You won't be able to hear it anyway over the wind.
All right. So you find essentially there's a false keyhole, there's a false lock, which is the trap, and you manage to kind of figure out, how to work it so that it actually kind of comes apart safely. And as it drops apart, you can see that there are tiny little capsules inside that got like a little green sort of mist in them that you figure probably poison or something along the lines. And as it kind of breaks apart, and now you can see the real lock hidden underneath that. And this looks like a fairly complex lock. It might take a couple tries to get through it. This is more than a one and done type thing.
Crafty. All right. Let's see what I can do. Nothing. There's an 11.
All right. So the first try, you kind of feel where the first tumbler is, and you manage to kind of get your tool underneath it. And then just as you feel like you have it, it just slips, and the tumbler locks back in place. You try again.
All right. There we go. 25.
Okay.
Nice.
Learning from your mistake, you adjust your angle just so slightly with the peck and get it under there and kind of lift very slowly, and the first tumbler is up. As it does so, you hear kind of a like a gear kind of almost type moving on the inside, and you can see where part of the lock has actually kind of opened up a little bit, and you can see another set of tumblers within that.
Oy vey.
Whatever's in this box better be freaking good.
And 28 this time.
Hey.
28.
That would
You're
be
feeling in
19
the
on the
groove
die.
now. You're like, all right, I got this, right? I'm a safe cracker, like I'm in the mode. Just
Yeah.
Flick is like as silent as anything. I'm picturing like the tongue out.
Oh,
Her
yeah.
ears are like flipping, like listening to the locks moving and stuff. And just like there's another
little bubble coming up as I'm.
There's another click on the inside. And you actually see on the four corners of the lid, part of kind of hidden in the filigree, you see a couple of gears go on the lid as well.
Geez, this box alone is probably worth a mint.
There's one more lock.
All right,
Really
this is where
must
I roll
have,
another 2. And hey, no, 27.
What are these rolls?
That's a 16, an 18, and a 19 for those
Wow.
following along at home.
On the die.
Yeah,
Yes.
25,
Glad you're having,
28,
more success
25,
than we
28,
did.
and 27.
Wow.
Getting into the last series of tumblers, you can almost feel it now. And there's that anticipation, that drive that's pushing you, like, you got to get this thing open. There's no way you can fail now. Blocking out everything else around you. You're focused. You're barely even breathing. Flick is just like moving in like increments, precision. Dinar and Torque, it's a master at work. As you watch, like, just the slightest little move, and you hear a tick, a little tick, slight movement, until finally there's just like a, and the last tumbler goes up. The four corners of the chest continue to rotate,
Imagine a little burst of confetti shoots out of the keyhole.
and the lock opens up, and you can see now that there's a latch inside which actually opens it up, and the lock is successfully picked. The trap is successfully disarmed.
Beautiful. Would you care to do the honors, Captain, sir?
Sure.
How much does Captain trust Flick's handiwork?
I trust it. Dinar will reach down, unlatch the chest, and start to lift the lid.
Inside the chest, there are perfectly cut ingots of platinum.
Hello.
Well, I can certainly understand why this was so well guarded now.
86 of them.
So that's 860 gold pieces.
That's 860 platinum.
Ingots.
Oh,
Ingots, right?
so that's
Ingots.
So that's not even.
8,600
Well,
gold.
Just cut the ingots up into platinum pieces.
That's are they stamped with anything?
Ooh, that's a good question.
They are. Flick. One of as you're looking at these platinum bars, you turn one over, and you recognize the seal of your former owner.
Oh, you gotta be friggin' kidding me.
This is somehow taken from or traded from the slave merchants of Careful.
Yeah, this stuff is all fair game. These people are complete dirtbags.
Give me an investigation check.
Alright. Yep, my dice have run out. That's a 4.
Only a matter of time.
There is something different, like there's something odd about the ingots beyond that you're a little bit overwhelmed by the knowledge to kind of figure out, but there's something more to them here. You're just not sure what.
Like, you all right?
Well, earlier with those friggin' birds, it was making me think of the old days when, like, the overseers, right? So, the bigger ones, the bugbears, the ogres, they would have a friggin' ball watching us little guys, especially like the young goblins and stuff, getting picked off by big birds like that. It pissed me off then, and it pissed me off now, which is part of the reason why I was more than happy to pick a fight with them birds. And now we see this. You see this thing right here? And I point to the seal. This is the mark of the dirtbags that did that crap to me and to all my people back home. And I'm glad we're taking this money out of their damn hands.
I am as well, if this is the case.
Looking around the hold that we're in, like, does this ship look like it's from Careful?
I mean, ship's a ship, right? Like,
That's fair.
did we see, was it flying colors or anything? I guess,
Not that were left, not that you could tell. Everything was tattered and ripped apart. But...
yeah, the SS Dirtbag on the back is about all it's going to say. So,
Dinar, you can give me an Arcana check, actually.
Oh, okay. Ooh, this is +8 now, I believe. Yep. So that's a 12 plus 8. That's a 20. A dirty 20.
Something's bugging you about these bars too. Like, you've seen ingots, in the Navy and stuff, and there's something more to what these are. Like, it's platinum. They're ingots. There's something kind of tickling at your brain, being like,
they're freaking marked bills.
well, no, it's more that, like, they're giving off an aura. Like, it's weird. Money doesn't normally give you a feeling. It's not like a curse or like an enchantment. It's more like, not illusion, but there's something about these bars that's more than what they seem.
You guys mind giving me 10 minutes?
Take all the time you need, Captain.
Yeah, I'm going to get some fresh air. I'm going to go topside, make sure that we're not getting bombarded by giant birds.
Cool.
Okay. Tanar will place the ingot on the ground. Just one of them. Place an ingot on the ground. He'll sit behind it.
Okay.
Torque will consider going after Flick, but decide that he probably needs some time alone in this moment.
And Tanar will pull out his 100 gold piece pearl and his owl feather and start dancing the owl feather around as he's casting Identify on the ingot in front of him.
Okay. while all this is happening, Talon, your plus 500 passive perception. You hear a sound coming from the giant nest. Not a rock sound, not a giant bird sound. Something smaller, something fainter. And it takes you a minute to kind of pick it out over the waves. It's a person. It's a voice. Just kind of like a little bit of a scream. Language, can't quite make out what the language is. Bit of a distressed kind of sound. And then beside that, you hear like a piercing screech as well, sounding wounded from something else.
Where are we in terms of loading up a boat?
All the stuff that has been brought to you guys so far, you've had time to load it up. You, Kamari, Willie, yeah.
So are we like ready for the boat to basically head back out again, or is there still more loading to do?
You being completely unaware of the ingots, yeah, like what you have is
okay.
Everything.
How long has it been since I summoned Big Boy Willie?
I'd say probably less than an hour.
How long since your last Big Willie style?
Yeah.
It hasn't been 4 hours, so you don't need to call a doctor. It's only been about less than an hour. It's your fault, Evan.
I know.
Your fault.
Although Dinar did just try to cast reduce on that chest, so it will be its normal size again. It's no longer enlarged.
Right.
That is true.
That wouldn't have lasted that long anyways.
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to get Willie to fly up and take a look then.
Okay. Dinar.
What's that sound?
These bars aren't magic items per se, but they are magic in the sense that an enchantment has been cast on them in a way. It's like it uses a really complex type of magic that almost kind of like folds matter. It's very similar to the spell that you're familiar with, reduce or enlarge, where you can change the size of something. In this case, it's more the density, that more matter has been compacted into a small space. This is not 8,600 gold worth of platinum. This is 86,000 worth.
Sweet.
Of platinum.
Payday.
Each one of these bars is basically 10 bars compacted into one. To the point, and that's what kind of threw you off, like the material itself, like looking at these platinum bars, it's more than should be there. Like it's like looking at it in like 8K versus 4K. Like it's so crisp and so perfect, right? That's what it was. There's no marring, there was nothing denting them, no imperfections. It was just like pure perfect platinum, which shouldn't be possible in such a condensed format. This is 86,000 gold.
Hey, Torque.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Captain?
I don't know where this ship was coming from. I don't know where this ship was necessarily going. But these platinum ingots, there's some kind of magical property going on here that it's more than what we're actually seeing.
Do you think they're safe?
Oh, I'm sure they're not. This thing was magically trapped. I'm sure somebody's already aware that we found it. But this is world-altering wealth. This is put all the governments in your pocket wealth.
It's treasure.
Let's fill up your spellbook wealth.
And why was it being brought to Tyr?
Assuming that was its destination. But with this kind of money, Eddard could buy every every town, every keep, every castle in all of Eudora.
As uncomfortable as it makes me to say, perhaps this ship being scuttled was actually a blessing in disguise.
Perhaps the act of Desfuna.
One of the last acts of Desfuna.
Possibly.
Willie, sorry, go ahead.
No.
Go.
I don't know how we bring this into Tyr. I don't know we should bring this into Tyr.
What do we do with it then?
I don't know.
Oh, I got some ideas. And Flick's just been sort of throwing rocks at crabs this whole time.
One of them catches it, throws it back. Start playing catch with a crab. While you guys are having this conversation, as Willie has flown up, how high are you sending Willie up?
High enough to be able to see into the nest, I guess.
Okay, so it's probably going to go about good 60 feet or so.
Yeah.
Up to get a good picture. Inside the nest.
Oh.
Willie sees two creatures. One, a griffin. Wounded. Lacerations all over it. One of its wings seems to be bent at an awkward angle. Broken bones. Feathers of which match that which Dinar found. What can only be its rider, its companion, one of the Griffinware barbarians from the north, laying with similar wounds, cuts all over her, just bloodied, and you can see one of her arms is just like completely shattered, just laying there. You can see bits and pieces of debris, and there's armor. You see some gems. There's skeletons. There's remains of all kinds of stuff in the nest, just scattered about.
Indeed. I'm gonna take a quick look around and then for a gesture for Willie to come pick me up.
Okay.
Assuming I don't see anything immediate, I'll then,
give me a perception check. This is Willie giving your perception check? Like Willie taking a look around?
This is me.
Okay. You don't see anything in your butt.
Okay. Just kind of taking a quick look around, and then gonna get Willie to pick me up and carry me over to the edge of the nest.
Okay.
See if I can catch their attention.
The Griffin seems to be just kind of, in shock.
As the talons of Willie dig into my shoulders as I'm like, ow, ow, watch it.
The woman kind of seems to notice you. Her eyes go wide.
Hey, how are you?
Fine, all good, hasn't he?
Great.
Well, for last lad. Well, then for last lad.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. Yeah.
I can't do it. Well, for last lad.
Rise again, rise again. Healing word.
How much?
That's gonna be. I don't know why that didn't do anything.
That's weird.
My spells have been doing weird things lately. I may have to. Here it is. 10.
Okay.
Though your heart it be broken and life about to end, no matter what you've lost, be it a home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter rise. I guess she can't understand a word I'm saying.
Doesn't seem to be, but she does feel the magic, and see it kind of. Last. And she kind of reaches down and pulls out from beside her, kind of from the nest, an extremely large feather. This one not belonging to a griffin.
I will nod in understanding.
And she kind of holds it and she says, Kunatai. Kunatai.
Kunatai, yes. The griffin, does it look like something that I can heal with my paltry skills, or is this going to require like a proper cleric?
It's really badly hurt.
Yeah, okay. Like a cure wounds will maybe get it not dying, but getting it in a flying condition is going to need like a heal or or something.
You see the griffin's head suddenly just kind of go and look up. And the rider too, she goes, Kunatai. Kunatai.
Yeah. Okay.
And you all hear from somewhere just ear-piercing, thunderous, the loudest shriek that you've ever heard in your life, just reverberating through the skies. And there's you see nothing, but you feel and hear the sound of this monstrous creature. Talon, you watch as the Griffin Rider's eyes just go wide in panic, and she goes, What? And we're gonna end there.
I'm like racking through my spells, like, I got a couple ideas.
What do you guys think the challenge rating of a rock is?
I know what it is. It's going to be interesting.
It'll be a tough one.
I took a skill that I'm not going to reveal just yet, or a spell. Sorry.
Okay.
That might give
rock
us a chance.
kill.
Anti-rock.
Rock and roll.
Power word: run.
So yeah, we will pick it up there next week with our inbound rock, a kingdom's worth of wealth marked by slaver stamp in a shipwreck, and many more mysteries to be unraveled. Thank you everybody for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget, you can check us out on Spotify and other places now, other than Podbean, if you want to listen to the audio of this. And to get our VODs up on YouTube. Make sure you check out our link tree so you can find all of our links. Join our Discord channel. You get whenever we release something, you get first dibs at it there. We released our Brainstorm magazine there before we put up on our socials. So it gives you exclusive access to certain things. And join our Patreon. And go get your Brainstorm magazine for free and have content for free just to use. Do it. It's a good thing to do. Free. That's like the magic word, right? Free. But thank you everyone for watching and hanging out with us, and we will catch you next time. Until then, happy gaming. Bye.
Rock and roll and rock and roll and rock and roll away.